conservatory, you never go to law school. So this can never, ever, ever have any effect on you until you're part of it. This could be Boy Scouts. And if you went to a Boy Scout meeting and you heard them talking, and you said, whoa, 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 I think it should be this way. Guess what the Boy Scouts will do? Uncle, you don't even know who the heck is you. Get out of here, Uncle. You're not part of the Boy Scouts. You don't even know what we're talking about. But of course, if the Boy Scouts was into fraud, they would say, oh, Uncle, come. Let me charge you for acting like you know what we're talking about. And that's what they do. They let us get into the legal system, and they keep us there. But if we flip our thinking, we will realize that we man, we're now a legal entity. And the nice thing about man is he can be a husband, he can be a teacher, he can be a waiter, he can take any capacity he decides to at any time that he feels it's proper. So if he wants to be private, he can sit down and not talk to anybody. But as soon as he takes this status, he has duties and obligations. As to the status, a plaintiff has duties and obligations to the court. A defendant has duties and obligations to the plaintiff. A child has duties and obligations to his parents. A husband has duties and obligations to his wife. A husband has no right to do anything to his wife. A plaintiff has no right to do anything to anybody. A child has no right. They got duties to their parents. They got duties for their chores. They're living under the parents. So all these statuses we can take. We can be a plaintiff, we can be a defendant, we can be a swordsman, we can be a driver, and that's your right as a man. But if we don't realize that we are born as man, and we're stuck in the cold world, we're lost. Anybody know what is a plaintiff? Anybody ever in Google plaintiff? Plaintiff, the state's a plaintiff. A plaintiff is a nagging housewife, a complaining housewife.
Accuser.
No, not even. A nagging housewife.
Oh yeah.
I promise you that.
Okay. Well, I call a prosecutor.
Okay.
You know,
A prosecutor will proceed or chase. He will prosecute. So even though prosecutor is a status, as man, you have a right to take that status.
Sure.
As man, you can say, oh, I don't want to be plaintiff. I'm not a housewife and I ain't complaining. As man, you can say, defendant, well, sorry, judgy, but man to man, you know I'm not qualified to be a defendant. You know I cannot interpret your code. So I require leave of court to answer your claim. You do have a proper claim before this court, do you? They don't. Nobody has a proper claim. They don't have a proper claim. Only man has proper claim. We cannot cross out man. Man is a man. So, when we stand as, one more time, when we stand as any status, national status, stand as a doctor, fireman, police officer, attorney, anything, you have a duty and obligation to fulfill that position. When you stand as man, your rights are endless. And why? Why stand as man when we are a nation and all this stuff? And this is just my belief, but God could be nature, could be universal, anything, Buddha, you know, whatever your higher power is.
He should be on top.
Yeah. And then he made man. No, God never made no defendants. God never made no husbands or children. God made man. Yeah? Man invents corporations or corpse, right? Dead bodies. And they make govs, which is also corpse. Can a corpse speak? Can a corpse impress the record? Impress upon a record? Can a corpse open a file a lawsuit? Man-made corporation. Corporation cannot ever turn around and be in control of man. It's like man saying, you know, God, you never give me $1 million, you owe me. God knows me nothing. You can petition, you can beg, you can cry. That's a higher power. You can never control your God. You cannot even describe him. So, if I cannot describe my God, meaning the universal God, because I never seen him, how can this corpse describe man who he worked for? Or hold this guy responsible for this? The corpse are only made to benefit man. Only to benefit man, not to extract wealth from man. Who made the corpse? Man made the corpse. Man would never make a corporation that would put himself in jail, put himself under, take away his money. So man made the government. What does the government do? Protect the property of man. Man as proper. And what is property? You guys remember? All that is proper to your necessity to life. All that is proper and exclusive to your use. Okay? This is not my property. Maybe I have a common claim to it while I'm here, but it's not proper and exclusive for my just only use. So basically, I had to learn that this government works for me. Man made the government. Government works for me. God made man. Man works for God's good. Yes. Man made government. Government works to benefit man. And when the government stops benefiting man and starts to burden him, man can flip the charge and bring that burdener, that wrongdoer, into a court. And we're going to get into the court. In the legal system, hardly ever you can see single words. You can see terms of art. You can see a couple of words strung together to make one idea. And you're not qualified to interpret that idea because you never write them. You don't know the person who wrote that. And you don't know, you cannot testify to his frame of mind when he wrote that code or that idea. It's that he cannot testify to your idea. You cannot testify, neither can a prosecutor or a judge testify to that code writer's idea. Until you can get that code guy in to testify against you and say, oh yes, I wrote that code specifically for Michael Weeks in 2019 when he get pulled over for a traffic ticket. Yeah, that was written for him in 1972. Ain't gonna happen. So that code word cannot ever have any bearing on you until you take the status voluntarily. Okay, so how we get jurisdiction? Jurisdiction.
You have to have title. Only lawful title is lawful jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction, you get the term plenary powers going around, yeah? Plenary powers. Plenary. So that's just the right or the obligation. Remember, they no more rights, they get obligation. It's just the obligation to keep the borders free and clear and safe. So states got jurisdiction over imaginary borders. Because you gotta think about it, what's a state? State is nothing tangible.
It's a corporation.
State is corporation. It's not tangible. There's no actual borders. There's no physical territory that's allotted for any such state. So the state will have jurisdiction only if you believe. Only if you believe. Okay, so belief. How do you spell that? Like that?
Yes.
Okay. Jurisdiction or ENCE. Jurisprudence. Jurisdiction comes from the word jurisprudence. Juris comes from the root word just. J-U-S, not J-U-S-T. J-U-S. Just. Anything that's anything that's righteous in God's eyes. Informal. Yes. Prudence. Prudence comes from the root word prude or foresight. The ability to look forward and see which way is just, and take the step in the right direction. So it's all based on belief. Because some people might believe that, shoot, I gotta go judge, I'm gonna go work for the court. That's my belief. I am doing a good job taxing these people and keeping our roads safe. You don't need to fall into that belief. You don't need to fall into that belief. So jurisdiction comes from belief. When you're in there and they say, oh, how do you plead? Oh, however, you fall into their trap. Jurisdiction comes from, how do you spell volunteer?
V-O-L.
V-O-L.
U-N-T-E-R.
Volunteering. Volunteering. Oh, what's your name? Oh, my name is Michael Weeks, sir. Okay, are you here today for 7233? Yes, that's for me. You just volunteer to the party. Remember now, you're not qualified. You know what the heck he just said? He just said a lot of legal stuff, and you're not qualified to interpret any of that legal stuff. Okay?
Very good.
Another way is you get jurisdiction when you are harmed. Yeah, so, which brings me to verbiage. On, over, in, before. So, to gain jurisdiction from harm, I could be before your foot, there's no harm. I could be at your foot, there's no harm. To be in your foot, that's an act of God, to be part of the elements of your body. If I'm over your foot, I may be a threat. So once I'm over your foot, that's a harm. Now you have jurisdiction to remove the burden. Yeah? So once I threaten, it dictates you have the jurisdiction to remove him or remove yourself. And if it continues after a fair warning, now you have jurisdiction to bring a case to repair the harm. Okay? It maybe wasn't a physical harm, but took me 20 minutes of my precious life to remove this harm. And 20 minutes might mean $1 million to me, might mean $1 billion. Maybe my child was getting born in that 20 minutes. That's priceless. So you have jurisdiction when you are harmed. They have jurisdiction, the fake court, when you volunteer or when you believe. And a volunteer is just to agree, yeah? You agree.
Yeah.
So once you go in and you plead or you claim to be able to interpret their code, you volunteering to be pro se, which is another status. We don't know what pro se is. Why use it? But they put that status on us to trick us into becoming jailhouse lawyers. I will defend myself. Shoot, I can defend myself. We got plenty of information. However, as a defendant, you fenceless. defenseless. They defended you. They defunded you. Anytime you put D in front of another name, a word, it negates. Yeah. So
So when you ask for a defense attorney, when you get arrested, even for drunk, you're already volunteering, right?
you turning the jurisdiction over to the court
Yeah,
by volunteering
yeah.
to hire
Because that's what everybody.
one of their court.
Appointed,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the point is.
So once you volunteer to accept their services, you volunteer to accept the charges. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me look at my stuff. So let me talk a little bit more about the written instruments, yeah? The written instruments. We all been talking, I've been talking Public Law 103, 150, Act 359, 1993, COW 1079, 2010. We get Rights of Indigenous Peoples, November 2010. Yeah, all these stuff, and I've been mentioning them for years. Did I sign that document? Can I summon the person who wrote and signed that document into my court? Maybe, but I have no solid proof that any of those codes
Exists.
are written for my benefit or pertain to me, Michael Weeks. You know, it may pertain to a national, may pertain to a protected person, might even pertain to a defendant. But, man still claims his status. Yeah. So you can come out of your status and you can be on Hawaii National. You can claim protected person. And you should. If claiming a national status at any certain time of day is a benefit, claim them. If claiming to be a protected person at any such instant, claim them. But never forget, man can make the claim.
Amen.
Corpse cannot make the claim. Government cannot make the claim. Corpse cannot speak. Corpse cannot make the record. Corpse cannot impress. Government is a corpse, no speaking. That's why when they say, when they come into court with attorneys, they don't say, oh, Michael Weeks, man, here for this case. Oh no, so representing the state. Why? Because the state cannot speak. They need so and so and so and so representing the state. But how are you going to neutralize this so and so and so and so? That dude who works for the state, he don't know any first-hand knowledge that any of those laws apply to you either. You know, and even case law. Dude might say, you know, in Kaulia, State of Rivera Valley versus Kaulia, this was the judgment. Well, you better get that judge into my case and make him verify on oath, on stand, that he made that decision to directly affect Michael Weeks today. Law has to be perfectly accurate. Can it be, oh, I think maybe 2012. Oh, I think this could be the verbiage. It has to be very, very precise, or it's frivolous. Yeah, it's nothing. So, until we can get a prosecutor that's qualified to interpret federal law, or state law, or county law, we can never prosecute under the code. We can never hold them accountable in their official capacity, because we are not qualified to interpret Title 18, Section 212. I can read them, I can talk about them, I can study them, I can send them out, I can utter them in court, I can put them in my motions, but am I qualified to interpret? No. So the judge can say, oh, you trying to be an attorney here? Do you have your bar license? Then it's all a lie. This won't hold water in my court. However, if you tell them, oh, judge, man to man, I'm not qualified to interpret any of your stuff. And if you're gonna hold me and insist or presume that I am competent and burden me, I'm gonna ask for leave of court to file my claim against you for this undue burden. And that's what we gotta flip the thinking. Don't be afraid of the judge.
Yeah.
The judge doing his job, but you gotta do your job too. The judge is stuck in the legal system.
Correct.
He's contracted with the corporation.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you get them out of that contract and talk to you man to man? How do you hold them?
Well, he can
his
choose,
status.
he can follow his bliss any way he want, but if he's gonna make a presumption over a true man, a true Kanaka in his own country, then he's gonna have to bring evidence that I'm not a true Kanaka in my own country.
Yeah, in your case.
Well,
If you open a case.
I'm not a US citizen,
Yeah.
so
So when the legal system files a case, it's all about presumptions, like you said.
presumption, yeah. I waive all claims without Keakua and the truth.
So the legal system is good at presuming.
That's what they
And
do.
until you break that presumption, you're under their thumb. So until you break, they're presuming you coming in as a defendant, remember? Or if you open your own case, you come in as a plaintiff. You gotta break that presumption and let them know, I can only come in as man.
Yes.
I cannot come in as a nagging housewife. You know, I tried. And if I took complaints, I would be at the breakfast table all day. I wouldn't get past the breakfast table. And I cannot take any status in the legal system, so I must be man, right, Judge? And try not to call him Judge, for your honor. If you want to do it correct, you address him man to man. And if he gets huffy, if you say, Harry, your name is Harry, right? Well, we're Judge Harry. Well, with all due respect, what is a judge? What is a judge?
Administrator of the corporation.
Okay, but is the judge man? Yeah. So man to man, I don't know any of your legal codes, and you cannot hold me
Perfect.
to a standard that I'm not competent in. I don't speak Chinese, but of course, if I start ordering stuff, I am trying to fit into their cold world, and they're gonna take it, grab you, shake all the money out, and go, hey, told you not to mess with us. Okay? So, man,
You file before you go see those people. Right?
everything gotta be in writing.
I mean, you file prior to them dragging you in there. Right?
Yes, yes,
So you've clarified your status in writing.
yes, yeah. So, anytime I go in as a defendant,
They
I'm
don't.
gonna clarify that
Yeah, you
I,
I'm a man.
man,
True Kanaka.
appear at this court.
Special.
That way, when they say, oh, the person hasn't arrived, the national, this man on the, oh, really? I got a court stamp document that I was in court. And just because you waited to after recess at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to call my name, that doesn't mean I wasn't in court. I get stamped documents that I was there at 8:30. And they can never hold you in contempt if you got a court stamped document that I, man, did appear. And the reason you like appear is man, is so that you can take any status as you like. If you appear as defendant, guess what duties and obligations you get? Imagine they're gonna say, hey, I give you $1 million, you will defend yourself against Mike Tyson. I would like to be a defendant, but not against Tyson. You know, I would have to respectfully decline because I'm not competent to fight that dude. And they cannot make you fight him. They cannot make you take that role of defendant. If you carry yourself as man.
Yes.
So, verbiage and definitions, okay? The most important words in our suit, I'm gonna show you guys a lawsuit pretty soon, the claim. The most important words will be the small words. Once you get more than 2 or 3 syllables in a word, now you're talking conjunctions, now you're talking defendant, you're taking away or you're adding to, which always gonna say, I love you. Plain, simple, to the point, cannot be misconstrued. I love you on rainy days.
Yeah.
You just add a little bit more, but you can tear apart the truth. Okay? Oh, I love you, but. So now you're putting qualifications on it. So if you keep it simple, straight to the point, there's no runaround, there's no loose words. They no can misconstrue and see, oh, he says this, but it means this. So gonna have to be very precise. Each word gotta be calculated. So which means on, over, in, before act. These are all descriptions of position, status and position. So when you use on, over, in, before, act, any of these short positioning words, that puts you in the position you want to be. And of course, you're going to position them too. And what gives you the right to position them? You see your lawsuit, you see your claim. Nobody can claim that your claim is untrue. I cannot claim that I know what you're claiming and I don't believe your claim is right. Your claim is correct. If I claim I'm from Molokai, so be it. If I claim, you gotta let it go. I can challenge that claim if it burdens me, but your claim is your belief, and jurisprudence is all belief. Jurisdiction, a lot of belief. All of this, presumptions, belief. So they had me believing for 20 years that to win, I'm gonna have to defend myself good, and they're gonna let me go.
They own you.
They own me. Why? Because I was ready for a defend. Yeah. Oh, you are defending this weekend. Oh, okay, shoot, you are defending. Those two guys, hard for sleep. Can I sleep? But when you say, hey, I am man, who are you? Oh, I'm a corpse. You can't even make the record. You can't even speak to impress upon the record, which means you cannot hold on court of record, which means you can never get on judgment as a legal system. All your stuff, if you believe, it affects you. If you scratch that belief, all this is only theirs. But it's when we start to presume or hope that we can compete in their world and speak their language, that's when they're going to say, yes, one more taker, and that's where I've been. So let's see. The legal system do complaints. Remember what the definition of a plaintiff is? A nagging housewife, a complaining housewife. Okay, so when you're a plaintiff, you're a complaining housewife. When you're doing a complaint, you have no proper claim. All I'm doing is complaining, the room too cold, it's too bright. I'm complaining that dude never have my sticker on top of his bumper. So complaints holds no water, okay? No leverage. Why? I'm only complaining. When you got damages, now you have a claim. Now you have a claim to repair the damages. Okay, so when I just use getting pulled over. So I get pulled over, cop pulls me over, and it says, license and registration. I think, dude, why are you pulling me over? And I've been there. Dude, why are you pulling me over? Oh, because I need your, I don't care, I just need your license and registration. Dude, I'm charging you $1 per second. You better hurry up and get on that phone and call in because you work for me. You're a public servant, right, Lucifer? Yes, you are a public servant. I am the public. You serve the public, not the other way around. Okay, so I'd suggest you be quick with this because I will charge you for your time that you take away from me. So now, he stopped you. He came to you with burden, yes? With burden. You sitting on the side of the road, hot. The kid's crying. You miss your doctor appointment. It's embarrassing. Okay? Out of all that emotions, now you get citations. Yeah, you get, and the citation is going to presume, right? Presumption of codes. And on top of the citation, they're going to summon you to court, which will take time and money. You're going to have to prepare for court. It's going to take time and money. And when you go into court, you're missing your life. Time is money. So this guy came to you because he was offended. You get offenses, you get offended. You're a complaining housewife, you must be offended. Okay? But offending does not constitute harm.
Yes.
Okay? I can offend a lot of people. I always do.
We do that.
Yeah, but that don't constitute harm. So that don't give them jurisdiction to bring charges upon you. So when he comes to you and burden you with his citation because you offended,
It's not even a claim.
it's not even a claim. So he's gonna bring you into one kangaroo court on a presumption of an offense, and you have to bring a claim of what you require. Okay? Required to make yourself whole again.
Yes.
Okay? You're not going to claim anything on him. You're not going to claim anything on the court. You can only claim is what right and proper for you. And what is right and proper is he get rid of that. Why? Because he's not qualified. He's not qualified to interpret. You get rid of that, you get rid of this. Because this, he's making a lot of legal conclusions that you've been doing wrong. Okay? So you get rid of that, you get rid of this. You still stuck in court. Okay? Because a citation ain't in. He's not going to show up. But the prosecutor will grab him and run until you neutralize him. So when you go to court and you bring your claim, you're going to add up your time, your money, and you're going to add up the burden on the side of the road. Why are you going to add this up? Because you're going to have, when you relay your claim, you're not just going to claim, well, he bothered me and he owed me about 45 minutes of my time. Is that accurate? Is that pinpointing the situation? Is that, there's just too much leeway? It's got to be down to the second and the penny. If it's 1 penny off, if I tell you, I claim that you owe me $11.33 because I bought a pizza and I delivered it to you. Actually, the thing came out to $11.23. This claim is false. It's false. Even if it was 43, this is the real claim. So once you bring a false claim, that's why you're not ever gonna bring a false claim. You gotta claim only what's right. You cannot make them outrageous because maybe you're gonna have a jury of 12 to decide your claim. But you're not gonna make them so low that they're gonna laugh at you. So you're gonna itemize it all your time. As soon as the lights come on, I look at my clock already. Boom, and I write them down. He comes to the window, I go, hey officer, you see the time? $1 per second, what do you need? Oh, I need your license. Is that an order, officer? I don't care, I just need your license. Is that an order? I need your license. Is that an order? Yes, it's an order. Okay. If I order a pizza and the lady gives them to me, guess who owes the money? I will. If I order something from you and you deliver, guess who's obligated to fulfill the order? Yeah. So when a cop orders any personal effects, anything from you, remember your property is your property, exclusive for your use and enjoyment. He puts it in order. You just let him know straight up. It's gonna cost you. I don't care what. You try to go Pizza Cafe and put it on order. You try to go Safeway, put it on order. It's gonna cost you. I'm no different.
Yeah.
I'm no different. My mom and dad made me. I'm a corporation too. I'm a corporate entity. I'm man, but I can take the benefit of a corporate entity anytime I like. Right? And that's the benefit of being man. You're not stuck in one status. Man has the highest claim known to man. Government no more anything known to man. Okay? Man can claim government. God can claim man, but he cannot claim you have any.
You just re-educated them about the system,
Yeah.
about how simple the system was.
Well, how it's supposed to be, how it
How it's
was,
supposed to
yeah.
be. Yeah, because, it's so freaking screwed up.
We tend to overthink it, and we tend to utilize their rulings,
They believe.
their
They
belief.
believe, yeah.
And once we start trying to navigate somebody else's belief, you're gone. You're gone. How can I believe what I believe and then believe what you believe when they're two different contradictions? This is God's law, this is man's law.
Yeah.
God's law unwritten. Man's law has to be written.
Written.
It has to be written for you to believe. You know, I cannot just say, oh, this is my law. Well, I don't even see that. I don't believe anything. But when they start putting them down on paper and we start believing, we fall into man's law. And man's law, we shouldn't be following man's law. We should always follow God's law.
Yeah.
That's just. So that's why God's law is unwritten. I don't need write down, thou shalt not poke me in the eye. I don't need write down, don't drop off a 40-foot cliff.
Yeah.
Our children know that. God's gonna take you out. God's gonna make it hurt. That's his law. Man's law, what if you break this? I don't care. God never do nothing to me. God, oh, how about if you don't go court? God never said I gotta go court. However, they get on solid belief that you believe.
Yeah.
You gotta break that presumption of belief. Why, how? Just say man to man, judge? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, no, but, and I had this in one of my cases. No, but the book says, and she starts reading for like half an hour. And I'm sitting there, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything. As soon as she stops and she slams her book, and she what do you say about that, Mr. Weeks? I go, oh, did you see my signature in that book? Oh, did you see your signature? I go, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of my court. And that's that easy. I incompetent. I don't know what the rules of your house. I never lived in your house. I never was a subordinate of your house. And you're not my God. You're my fellow man. And just as my rules cannot control you, my written instrument cannot control you or burden you, you get the same obligation to you. Same obligation. So man come with rights. Statuses come with duties and obligations.
And privileges,
Privileges. Yeah. Privileges.
corporate privileges.
Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, so so before we look at my docs, we're gonna look at say I, man, and you didn't use small man too, yeah, because it's not a proper noun. You're not talking about all man. You're talking about I man. I man have rights. That's all the immunity you need. Because public officials have no rights, duties, obligations, and benefits. Duties, obligations,
Oh, privileges.
privileges. Yeah.
That's
So-
all corporate legalese.
So you always gotta stop with man.
God-given, unalienable rights.
Yeah. And like I said, try not to call a judge your honor. You try always get him man on man, because he's a corpse. Whatever he says, whatever he misleads you with, not gonna make that record. He never swore in. He's not gonna impress the record. So every time you're in there for preliminary hearings, nothing is recorded. It's recorded, but it doesn't impress the record. Until one man swears in to make the record, It's
That
a
is
court
so-
of no record. It's a court of no record. And that's why they can fraud you, they can dismiss you, they can do anything they like because there is no record. No man had appeared. Did man appear? No. Defendant appeared, plaintiff appeared, prosecutor appeared, judge appeared. A lot of statuses appeared. Man gotta appear. And that's what we've been falling short is we haven't been claiming our status as man. And all you need to be able to hear it 500 more times, man. That's only because we gotta flip our thinking and we gotta know that man is over government. Okay, so when we can stand as man and bring a claim and not be burdened by a fellow man, we can flip that. We even have our government. Why? Because our
They
government
know
will
that.
be untouchable.
And they know it.
Yeah. Who is the government? The government is made up of man. And until I can to protect myself, I can never bestow protection on my government. I can never protect my pine cone or my corpse if I don't even know who I am, or if I think I'm a corpse. If I think I'm a pine cone or a Christmas tree, how can I go protect my fellow man?
Yeah.
If I'm a man, now we get status.
Don't worry.
Okay, so, yeah. Property, jurisdiction, and so letter writing, yeah? So, man has the rights, but the legal system will presume that you don't know that you get this status to be claimed. In fact, the legal system, the reason they take God out of schools, or the reason they capitalize God in the Bible, is because there is no all capital words in a dictionary. Right? If you look at a dictionary, all undercase, all lowercase. So once you look on a law document or you see all caps, it's not there. So how do you take God out of the Bible? Capitalize it. It's still there. It appears there, but is it a real word? It's not a real word. Same with in the district court, all capital. It's not there. It's not there. So ordered. All in a court cases, all in a court document. So ordered in the district court.
Something.
All capital. Yeah. See them? All capital. So you get a legal document from them, and you go through and you scratch out every capital word. You can come out with a blank page. Yeah? And then you send them back and you say, please reiterate. Please reiterate. I'm not competent, but I know that you never write much on this paper. It's very, you just scratch them out. And that's perfectly fine. Why? Because might not be an attorney, but I know what a dictionary spells, and the dictionary don't know any capital words. Yeah. So what they would do is put this on a paper and have you believe you understand.
Right.
But in actuality, they got the trump card. They got the trump card because they know this is actually not there. We don't know, we believe, oh yeah, look, at the district court. But their trump card will be like, really? I don't see nothing on that page. And so you can do that to them too. And I've been waiting for them to answer me like that. So I put mine in capitals, just for drama. Just like I don't wear seatbelt, because I want to try you. You want to try me, I want to try you. So I put those little traps in there to see how they come back.
They do.
So far, not yet.
Yeah.
So far, they tried to claim the cop had a right to pull me over, or the state has a right to do this and this. And I write back.
They have evidence for their claim?
No
No
a
evidence.
corpse can have no rights.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
people have a right to make a claim, but you have to have evidence.
Yeah, but they're not making a claim.
They're not even making a claim?
They're not even making a claim.
They just use it for
They're having you presume you know what you're reading. It's voluntary, remember, voluntary. They're not making a claim. They're putting in a complaint. And they got people in there for solidify that belief. Because you get gun, you get paperwork, you get nice chairs. So to solidify your belief. But there is no claim. There is no claim.
There's no
So
verified claim.
we gotta flip our thinking. We gotta take their complaint which is a citation or fake lawsuit and flip the charge. Flip the charge. You coming to me with code, you know I'm not qualified. You coming to me with statute, you know I'm not qualified. Furthermore, I know you're not qualified. Okay? You might be a plumbing inspector, you might be a police officer, but don't ever think that you're qualified to interpret legal codes. Yeah. So the day you start burdening me, accusing me of breaking your code and putting me into your complaint category, I have a claim. And a claim will always trump a complaint. A complaint has no, you cannot fulfill the obligations of a complaint. You know, you can complain all you like. A claim has a power of law.
If it has evidence.
You need evidence.
You need
Yeah.
evidence.
You can get by without evidence.
No,
They do.
that's not lawful.
That's not lawful, but you can get by without evidence. It's a presumption, remember. If I claim he owed me $70 and the guy goes, I may be, boom, you just got away without evidence. But if he goes, wait, do I know you? Yeah, here's the receipt. Remember, I bought
No
you.
evidence.
Yeah. So they don't need to respond. The claimant has to just be there. But the respondent or the defendant or the injured part, the wrongdoer, he don't have to show up. He don't have to say a word. He can be guilty. He can save himself. He can give up. Or he can come and speak. But the plaintiff, not even the plaintiff, the claimant has to be there. Why? Because the claimant has to make the record in a court of record. You have to have one person to utter onto the record, to impress the record. And if you're the claimant and you impress the record and your wrongdoer says, I'll remain silent, you won. You won. Unless the judge, the magistrate starts backing him up, which there is ways to neutralize him. So, anybody get questions on jurisdiction?
We'll take one to kind. Is that 5-minute break, or you guys like push on some more? Everybody
Can you go?
Yeah, sounds good.
small break.
5-minute break? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just before you start the next one.
Yeah. Own presumptions. So even if you try and break their presumptions, you had this denied, but I claimed it denied. You know why? They make their own rules. It's a fake court. They have fake rules, and
Correct.
just like the Cub Scout, Boy Scouts, you have no say. You can tell them, Jimmy Boy, that's not according to you guys' rules. But Jimmy Boy will say, hey, I am the Cub Scout here. We make the rules. We the Cub Scouts. This is common to our society. You, Uncle, you go Uncle Scouts. You incompetent in my Cub Scouts. So, we gotta neutralize this kangaroo court by opening up claim.
This is the main stuff.
A verifiable claim.
A claim with evidence.
Verifiable. Verification basically in a court of no record, nothing is verified. The judge never swears in to tell the truth. Prosecutor never swears in to tell the truth. And half the time, the defendant never swears in. He just pleads, takes a rap, and whatever. So there's no record. There's no impression on a record. Nobody impressed him. Nobody swore in to be held accountable. So if you have no swearing in or signing, you cannot hold anybody. You know, he didn't utter. He's a pine cone. He's a judge. He's a corpse. He didn't say anything. You believed, you heard, and you involuntarily agreed to take the rap. Okay? Because you believe. You start believing in their belief. So when you open a verifiable claim, you bring it in your belief, your claim, and you're gonna raise your hand and verify that I telling the truth. Okay? You don't care about the defendant. You know he wrong. Okay? All you gotta do is state your claim. Just like when they pull you over, all you gotta state, we are state of Hawaii, we own you. And that's the state their claim. No matter what you say, they're gonna believe their claim. You can go to their court, they're gonna win because your claim is not
In your court.
it's not in your court. You claiming a status under a defendant. Okay, so they already will name you as a defendant. And if you go to court saying, oh, okay, yeah, look at my paperwork. I'm a defendant. So if I go in as a defendant, I get duties and obligations to get beaten up by whoever I'm defending against. Yeah. So when you open your claim, now you have a lawful court. And what's a court? A court is a king and his attendants. That's a court. A court is not a building, that's a venue. A court is not a judge, that's a man acting as an administrator. A lawful court is a sovereign and his entourage. Why sovereign? Who makes law? God made law, but we all get the benefit of God's law, and we make our own law in our own contracts. So if me and Uncle decide, okay, I'm gonna sell you 16 tomatoes for $3, we shake hands. That's our law. That's law. A judge not can get in touch, in between our law. That's our law. If we get married, that's our law. So we are law. Okay? So when you open on court, you become the sovereign. You own the suit. Okay, you have a lawsuit. Okay, you own the suit. What is a suit? A suitcase. Okay, everything that goes into this package is your suit. Okay, so that's a suit. You have a lawsuit. Is that very specific?
Yeah.
Okay, so a suitcase, a lawsuit, a package, a bundle. That's a suit. And if your suit is too many words, vague, unspecific, your suit gonna be loose. It'll be loose-fitting suit. And once you start getting loose-fitting suits, guess who's gonna grab you and take you down? Okay, so your suit gotta be tight, meaning no start uttering code, no start calling yourself a defendant or a complainant, no start thinking you qualified to tell me what HRS 703-115, no start thinking that you can tell a judge, oh, Title 18, Section 212 says this, because now your suit
It's loose, they
is
can
loose.
grab you.
Yeah, and guess who's
Show you
competent?
in a proper
Guess
race.
who's competent to pull those words from your mouth? Guess who's competent to grab you and say, oh, what are you talking about? Code? Ooh, this is mine. I'm qualified in code. And then I will start mentioning, oh no, but HRS 7.1, oh, the attorney who is qualified to interpret HRS will say, oh, I got you now. Only me qualified to interpret that.
Right.
Only me qualified to interpret federal. So who the judge gonna rule for? The guy who incompetent with the loose suit, or the guy who's competent to interpret the code that's before the court?
You know, but like say, you say you go take them to court. You don't take them to the regular court, because you gotta go up against a judge,
Yeah.
or you take them to that,
Okay.
the court you
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
Well, you get these 30 minutes, what?
Yeah.
You
So,
get these 30 minutes.
court,
in
okay.
court.
Court, what kind of courts we
But
have?
he using the same judge.
We-
You're going up against the same
Yeah.
legal system
Yeah.
that they
You're
get.
gonna use all the benefits
That they
that's
have.
given to you in the legal system without being in the system
Right.
or without being an element of their system. Yeah, so what you can do is, you got a court, you get divorce court, you get contract, well, you get family court, you get admiralty,
Man, I get all kinds of courts.
yeah, you get hundreds. You
Circuit
get
court.
Uncle and John court. You know, we hold court every time the kids lie and we say, get over here, you gonna answer your dad. We get family court. That's the original family court, is when you with your family.
Yeah.
Okay? So, what is this court thing on the top? These are all jurisdictions. These are all jurisdictions. But they all get heard in this venue. Court is separate from jurisdiction. Court is a venue. Like this venue is not for rent like the apartments. It's a separate venue. Same building, separate application. So we're not gonna rent this out to a party of three for sleepover. It's not set for that venue. It's not set for that accommodation.
Yeah.
However, the court is set up to hear genuine issues of dispute. Okay? So this is a venue.
Is that a state of Hawaii venue?
This is a common venue.
Okay.
It's like,
So it's, you don't sue them in the corporation's courtroom? Or do you?
You utilize the venue and you bring your claim, your private claim, at that venue.
At that venue. So in other words, you going up against the same
Let
judge.
me show you how we
You
do.
neutralize the judge.
Right,
Watch
yeah.
how we do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the venue is the court. Okay? So, without even. Oh, okay. We'll go back to letter writing after we go to letter writing. Okay, so. At the district court, of the Second Circuit. Oh, whatever, okay? Usually you can see in, yeah? Usually in the district court. If you look at their papers, it's in.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So you put at.
so if me and you will meet in Lafayette's car, guess who has jurisdiction? If me and you will meet in Walmart and do business, guess who has jurisdiction? Walmart. If me and you gonna meet somewhere and do business other than our own, in somebody else's venue, you, under their rules,
Yeah.
you know, you can meet in my car, but you're not gonna drink soda, you're not gonna beat the horn, and then you owe me this much money, and I can kick you out anytime I like, and I can do anything you like, I like, because it's my property, and you agreeing to come meet in my property.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go act.
I get that.
Okay, you go act. Now, I'm not an element of the court. I have my name is Michael Weeks, yeah? So I have the Weeks Court. At the district court. Okay, so now,
That word change.
why don't we use the district court? Why we not in the district court? Because we liable to, we gotta follow the judge's rules.
You're not in their jurisdiction. You're
Right.
at there.
We're at the
You're not
venue.
in, yeah.
We're at the venue. I'm not in your wedding party,
Right.
but I'm at this
You
venue.
using their
Yeah.
venue
Right.
Yes.
to bring up your case.
So,
Okay.
so you're at the district court. You summoning your wrongdoer to answer in the Weeks court. Okay? What is a court? A sovereign and his attendants, okay? So I'm Weeks, I'm gonna take my suit to this venue, and I'm gonna present my suit and my claim at this venue. So now, because I'm not in the APS car, I don't know 40 pages of civil code and procedure. I don't need to worry about canon rules. I don't need to worry about the 500 other pages that the district court requires when people file suit in their venue.
In the state of Hawaii.
In the state, yeah. So when you're at the court and you bring in your court, guess who writes the rules? Now you write the law, you write the rules, you summons,
Well, it's all common law. Right?
You
operate in
prosecute?
common law. There.
you hold in contempt,
Yeah.
and you write orders. When you're in their court, you use their laws, you use their rules, their summons, they prosecute you, they hold you in contempt, they write orders. Okay? When you're in the Weeks court, guess who?
You.
I write the laws, I write the rules, I write the summons, I prosecute, I hold in contempt, and I write orders. Okay? And the judge is not a judge. He's a administrator, or he's a magistrate. A magistrate is separate from the tribunal. So the man who making the claim writes the orders.
Oh, and the judge know that?
That's you.
Yes.
The
In
judge
this
knows.
case.
Yeah.
Yes. So I am the claimant.
So he not gonna jump in and say, oh, I'm a judge, you know like how they do.
But he may.
Intimidation.
He may. And you gotta stop him. Whoa, man-to-man judge, whose claim is this?
Whoa.
You gotta bring him back man-to-man.
Yeah.
If you call him judge, you lost your court. You just gave him a status.
Yeah.
You don't,
Yeah.
you're not
Even
qualified.
use.
Right.
Yeah. And if you're gonna give him that status, he's got you. You just lost your court. If you mention Title 18, you lose your court. If you mention HRS,
Or even the U.S. Constitution.
you mention the U.S. Constitution, you mention anything that's written by man on the legal side,
You lost.
you presuming that you're competent there, and they're
Right.
gonna grab you because they know they're gonna eat you up.
Right.
So
Gotta be man to man.
you gotta stop them. You always gotta get that save, but you always gotta bring them back and say, whoa, 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 Mr. Freitas, Judge Freitas, you are a man, right? Yeah, yes, I am a man. Well, good, man to man. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Oh, what do you mean? You've been here about 400 times this year. Exactly. And I still don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, you beat him at the whole game.
But when you start saying, oh, no, but if once you start uttering code,
No, we don't do that.
now you're acting like you're qualified.
Right.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah, and then
you start uttering statute,
Right.
Yeah.
that's theirs. That's
Yeah.
theirs. It's copyrighted.
Jump in,
It's
yeah.
copyrighted. Now
Mistake.
you losing your court, you coming out of common, and you're going to the legal system.
Yeah.
And guess who's
Right.
competent in the legal system?
They will wait.
So you need this line.
Right.
You need this line. You gotta use basic words, basic verbiage, no terms of art, no point. Once you start using terms of art,
Yeah.
they're competent.
Right.
They can describe what you're talking about. If you describe what they're talking about, they're gonna laugh at you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
And on the same term, when you're in a Weeks court, I write the law.
Right.
And what is the law?
What I said.
No harm. Harm done, huh?
Yeah? Do no harm.
That's God's
Yeah.
law.
Okay? So if they did harm me mentally and physically and monetarily by summoning me into a fake court, they're harming me. Okay? So the law is do no harm. What is the rules? 2 rules that we all can use. Simple rules. Okay? If you go district court, no telling how many rules and no telling how often they change the rules and no telling if you're competent to interpret the rules. Yeah? So the 2 rules in any common law court is 1, you gotta be on first-hand competent witness to the situation. So if you wasn't there at the situation, at the traffic stop, at the, on the plumbing inspection, or whatever the officer trying to tag you for, if he hires a lawyer or a district attorney, they're all incompetent because they wasn't there. They might be competent in their court because they're charging you with their ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Are you competent in their rules? No, so they cannot hop over to the common law side. Attorneys cannot hop over. You gotta be a competent witness, meaning you gotta have smelled, seen, tasted, heard, and felt the incident. If not, I'll hold you in contempt. Easy to do. Easy to hold in contempt. So, as soon as this guy says, oh, but HRS says we have the right to pull you over. Oh, whoa, objection. Are you party to this case? No? Well, I suggest you remove yourself from my seat, or I shall hold you in contempt, as dictated by the Weeks court. And your contempt can be anything you like. Get out, you owe $500 to the court. What court? Weeks court. Can be $1, can be put your nose on the wall.
Yeah.
You in my court. You in my court. And what gives me the power? I have jurisdiction because of the wrongdoer and because I filed a summons in my court to prosecute. So that's the jurisdiction, that's the power to move a person so you can be free. It's the jurisdiction. So, sorry. The laws. Like I said, when you start using coined phrases, terms of art, all these kind of different causes of action. You guys Google causes of action, you're gonna have 500 million different terms to sue for. All of those terms come down to the simple why? Because trespass is an easy word coming out of the Bible, coming out of God's law. When you swear an oath inside a court, they need to put your hand on the Bible. So you know whose law is highest, even in their court. In a kangaroo court, they make you swear on the Bible, they make you swear to God's law. So that's how you know trespass. So that's how I believe, you know. So if you're gonna have one, Uncle never paid me for my tomatoes. So that's theft or breach of contract.
Yeah.
You get fraud and inducement. You get hundreds of different coined phrases, yeah?
Yeah.
We don't use this on a daily basis, not in the common world. You don't use fraud in the inducement, fraud in the factum. You don't use all this kind of stuff. So, everything falls under trespass. Remember, keep it simple. You start using their breach of contract. They're going to look through their codes and they're going to say, oh, look, if you cut out the word is, his case falls apart. And who has the right to cut out their words? They have their words.
They have the right, you
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah, so instead of using their words, you put trespass in the form of breach of contract, or in the form of a harassment. So you get anything will be a trespass, from an assault, a battery, basic trespass. Try not to juice them up because you never coined this phrase.
Yeah.
You never coined this phrase. And once you start using their stuff, they're going to presume that
Yeah.
you're ready to battle. They can presume that you're competent. They know you're not. They can presume that they can beat you up because you're ready. Okay, so rules. The first one is competence. Competent. And second rule is must swear in. Why? In a court of record, you gotta make the record. You gotta impress upon the record. You gotta have man. If you get Elvis Presley cannot send his attorney into the recording studio and press on record. Bob Marley never did send his attorney into the recording studio and press on record. Impossible. The man has to. He has to open court. He has to press the record.
So the swearing with I man, swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth right now. That's it.
Yeah.
for that, for
Yeah,
this,
swearing in, the basic swearing in.
just a basic.
Just so that I can hold that man accountable for any false utterances.
So, like your plaintiff or the guy would be the cop. You gonna have him, he gotta say that too, right?
Yeah, well, if the
You
cop
don't
is
ask
saying
him
that,
to.
then that's on the fraud side of the court. If you, the claimant, you're on the lawful side of the court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you tell a cop, we give him the option for say those words or not, right? It's up to him.
Mm-hmm.
Or just you say them enough. Because you doing you, right?
Yeah.
And then you getting him, because you going after him, you with whatever you get complaint against him.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
went against a cop that would pull you over.
Right.
So he gotta follow these rules in your court?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Michael, you're at district court, the police officer might be there,
He has to be. You hold him in contempt.
okay, if he's not there.
Well, he don't need to come. He gonna lose the case if he don't come. But I would choose to reopen one more hearing and hold him in contempt and drag him in. My next step,
Okay,
I
but
wanna drag him in.
Wait.
when you demand that, when you require that you're talking to the administrator, otherwise known as the judge, who are you talking to
Oh.
demand your court be
You-
recognized?
You don't talk. Everything gotta be written. Once you talk,
Okay.
you stand a chance of losing your court.
Okay, so you don't talk, you have already filed this
Yes.
invoking your court
Yes.
at district court.
Yes.
To what capacity do you apply Hawaiian Kingdom reality and law to your filing?
I don't.
You don't.
No.
You just stand as Michael Weeks, the man.
If I choose to, I may.
Okay,
Yeah,
because,
common law.
Yeah.
yeah, well, you know, Hawaiian Kingdom is common law constitutional
Why you
monarchy.
need the words?
Yeah, so why even bring it up?
Yeah, why you even need the words?
I just let it be.
You just want to win. You like open the door and the win. The
No, well,
not
I mean,
necessary.
yes and no, because, you know, we have title to all our meats and bounds. We have title to our gold. We have a history and an obligation, I think, to, you know, our kupuna and our country. So I want to win. Hawaiian Kingdom supports your unalienable right as Michael Weeks, the man. So that's, but you, right now, you don't use Hawaiian Kingdom as any part of your invoking the Michael
Don't
Weeks
need.
court.
Not in my.
No, you don't need to.
No, I don't need to. I'm sovereign. Government is under me. Government is made for my benefit. If my government cannot stand up, man has to stand. And
That
until
is
man
true.
stand, then government can walk in.
Okay, so you know, we have a lot of people who will not be able to be at their court and to do what it is you're doing. I can do this,
You can.
but I can't. I always invoke Hawaiian Kingdom common law wherever I go, whoever I'm talking to. So you don't, and I respect that, but I'm wondering if you see it would be of value that
Well,
we start to do
I
that.
put the law of the case as common law. But if that's what you mean.
No, you need to.
You could do that, yeah, well, I'm more specific, I actually put the coat of arms, and I cite Declaration of Rights 1839.
The reason I don't put that in
in
is because I have confidence in the declaration. I wasn't there. They will grab me and they will twist it. They will twist it. You stop mentioning stuff that you're not competent to mention that wasn't in your lifetime. They're gonna grab you. They practice every day to twist and turn your words.
What you need to.
So
do is
anything
talk
that's
about
extra on a
the
paper,
Get the word out.
they're gonna strike you.
And all this.
Not
stuff
only
off
that,
and
but when
get
you
up
look at
words
it,
and
the
all of that.
injury is
People
to
make it
him.
back up and it's outside.
The injury is not to the
You know
kingdom.
what I mean?
The injury is to him
Okay.
as a man.
Okay, now, I have contracted with Hawaiian Kingdom, meaning what? I have contracted to God's law as codified Hawaiian Kingdom. So any harm that comes to anybody, that, you know, to kingdom, that someone who has contracted to God's law in Hawaiian Kingdom, that's a harm to me.
Right.
That's a harm to our country, to my lahui.
Right.
So I think it's important that we figure out if, I mean,
No, you do you and he gonna do him. You know?
well, yeah, you do it, everybody does it their way, but I think it's helpful. I think it's helpful if in fact, and it is true, Hawaiian Kingdom is God's law codified into into his
Yeah,
soil.
that's right.
So that's why I do that. But I certainly recognize, and I never thought about this before, when you say that if you mention Declaration of Rights 1839, I wasn't there, Declaration of Rights 1839, but I can see by the words that it applies in 2019.
You can write it into the lawsuit and put refer to declaration.
Okay,
So you can put it in, yes,
okay.
but you gotta be very careful, because are you competent in that international road or in the declaration? Are you competent to interpret that code?
Right.
Well, I
the
am
problem.
in this factor. I have contracted as a free man unto God's law codified Declaration of Rights 1839. So I am a party to that contract.
Who you contracted with?
With any Kanaka or any man that values and makes a choice, I make the social political choice to contract with any man or woman that believes and knows that this is God's law codified on this soil. So that's why I don't feel we have to reinvent, people are like, you gotta write a new constitution and all that. No, this is all Keokua's law, no man is above the law in the Hawaiian Kingdom, right? And that we are all subject to the Creator's law as codified in that document 1839. So that's my contract.
Okay. Well, the reason I leave it out
Okay.
is because look how big the can of worms we mentioned.
Right, way too much words.
Now I'm gonna argue with the judge that, oh no, 19, that's a
Well, see,
big can of
okay,
worms that
way
you don't
too
need
much
go.
words.
You don't need
Well,
go that way.
well, I just feel like
If you
most
want
of
to,
our
you can.
most of our people will need the assistance of our nation in the common law as codified
Okay.
in our founding document.
So how can our nation assist if we have no man or woman who know what to do?
Right.
That's
Man
why.
and woman give government power.
Right. So
But the
how,
government no can help us if I don't know how to help.
Right. No, you get them simplified and yours work. All these other guys, they try. All brick walls, they're looking at jail time. So
Jail time.
you get them down,
I
you
don't like
fine
when people
tune
go to jail
them,
time.
and they still like coming with all this other stuff like that. And only slowing your roll down. Continue, cousin. Continue.
So at the district court, okay? So let me write this real quick. And this is
it's not the same thing. It's
put right up on this.
No, I like, but I write it down, but
all saying our people need to be supportive. They're not going to be ready to do it.
what you gotta do is follow this once or twice.
Our people need to pick up the phone and call me.
Okay, so
our nation.
we're at the district court or the second circuit or third circuit or whatever it's gonna be.
It's going to be too hands.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
basically you get, right over here, you're gonna have the caption. Caption gonna say who
That's true.
versus who.
Right.
You're gonna have case number. You're gonna have maybe the magistrate. And then you're gonna have the law of the case.
This is their case number, yeah?
This is, they're gonna put their case number.
Yeah, that's their
Yeah.
case.
They're gonna call the district court, they're gonna say, oh, I have a filing, I have and they're gonna put case number. I suggest not using their case numbers when you're communicating because that's their case number.
Mhm.
So I mark mine as 2019 first case, 2019 second case. So 2019-1, 2019-2, 2019-3.
Right.
So that I know my numbers, my case. I don't need to memorize their numbers, which is
Right.
their information. Okay, and then this is the preamble, caption.
This is how you write the letter.
This is a lawsuit right there.
Okay. A lawsuit.
Okay, so you're going to act because you don't want to be in the court. You cannot be in the court. If you're in the court, you're in their venue. If you're in their jurisdiction, you follow their laws. So when you run your court act, you get who, and this guy will be prosecutor. And this guy will be,
During practice out, them getting a court, but this will same thing like that, just get your information.
yeah, this is 100% mine.
But they didn't tap them out for you. You
No,
said they want-
You did it your own.
You do.
At the disc. Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah, they do just like that.
So,
Agreed.
Mike,
and-
you is the prosecutor.
I'm the prosecutor. And you can even put,
You put aggrieved on your paperwork.
Man.
Man aggrieved.
I decided the next one, I will maybe put them in the verbiage, but I don't need debrief on top, I just gotta be man prosecutor.
Okay,
I
yeah,
just gotta be man pursuing a claim.
that's good.
Yeah, I don't need to be sad.
Okay.
Yeah,
very
so
good.
then you get the preamble. It just says, who suing who and why.
Okay.
So mine says, what it says, the preamble? Real simple. I am Michael Weeks, the man aggrieved. And in this court of record brings this claim of trespass against the wrongdoer, Sanders Leon. So one sentence. What's the preamble for? So when a magistrate's got your pepper, you don't need to read the whole case. You just read one sentence. Oh, Michael is suing this guy for trespass. Real simple. So that's just one sentence.
You want certain amount for trespass?
What do you mean? It's your belief. Remember, jurisprudence is your belief.
Harm is harm, man. Yeah.
And then,
You sue for trespass.
yeah.
We also
Should
should
have
have
been one.
Like why? You shouldn't lie, you no more. You know what I mean?
The words they recognize, using common words they recognize trespass.
Yeah.
And that's what the simple thing is all about.
Okay, the reason you put the law of the case is if no more law of the case, they're gonna presume you're using this law, this rules. Okay? So the law of the case, gonna tell you what the rules are, right? Because contract law get different rules. So if you don't put law of the case, they're gonna presume you're gonna come in under code or statute.
So what do you write? What do you write there?
You write the law of the case. Whose
What?
case? Whose suit? The law of the case is
Okay, see, now that's where I would write Declaration of Rights, 1839, common
Common
law.
law, or what?
But that's what, see,
yeah, real basic, real basic.
all right,
Yeah, because
same thing.
yeah, you can flood them with information. Like you can look at my stack. You can like read that. The judge's not gonna read that. He's just gonna deny it.
Right.
But if you get two sentences, look, that's on one-page lawsuit.
Right.
You know in Hawaii, I go straight. Nobody ever did a one-page lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah, it's just too damn simple. Why? Because we know more code, we know more statute. All we get is man to man. I know you did me wrong. Let's go to court and finish this off. If you don't believe you did wrong, you go take the stand, swear on oath, and you believe that by you hitting me and punching me, that you had the right. And you can never prove you don't have the right to injure your fellow man, no matter what the badge color of that badge. Okay, so you got the claim. The preamble is the claim.
Yep,
The claim of trespass.
yep.
Then you have facts under that. The facts. Facts is, on March 22nd, 2018, he did utter a false instrument. Okay?
His complaints, his yellow sheet complaints.
Notice. It says notice right on it. It says notice on it. At the top.
Yeah, this,
But it's gotta be the same.
yeah.
Well, you got a hold of that.
Once you
What
can,
is this, you know?
once you can learn how to make you the prosecutor, you want everything.
So this is
Mm.
your lawsuit. That's the basic lawsuit.
Did utter a false instrument.
That's his trespass
That's his
upon you.
trespass.
Okay.
How did he utter a false fraud instrument? The citation.
The citation, he gave you a false instrument.
Is he qualified to interpret legal code? That's all in that citation? He's not qualified. He's incompetent to utter such an instrument. So now he's summoning you into a fake court under something he's not qualified to understand. And he did utter a false fraud instrument that interferes with your right to property.
That's true.
So all this thing,
Go simplify, so all you gotta do
Yeah.
is
right
just
here,
That's the fraud
simplify
instrument.
and solve it.
How I know this is fraud? How I know he fraud
No other
anything?
words, Use your exact words.
Yeah, so if you go into court and you say, hey, did you issue this citation? Oh, yes, yeah, okay. Top of the page says, state. What's a state as according to the legal definition of the legal society? You must be precise, this is a court of record and you understand. What's the definition of state? And you think that cop can tell you what a state is? Or the word of, or Hawaii, or notice of traffic? You break them all down and you question them on each word because he would sign. You never say, oh, this is all mine. He said, oh, I presume you did this, I presume you did that. I presuming without having qualifications to even interpret what's going on as a cop. So now, he did give a ticket. Yeah, the ticket is a false instrument that interferes with my right to property, my time, my money, my life. Okay? And now I demand compensation.
Right.
Recourse.
Of $1 a second until my property is restored. Or $1 a second as this is the time that the incident transpired. But like he says, gotta be recorded. Gotta be recorded or have a witness who can verify your claim. So if you know more recording device, you can summons your witness into your court and say, oh, were you at the incident? Oh yes, and about, in your honest tally of the time, how much time did it take? Oh, it took 20 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay, is that accurate? Yeah. You wish to verify? Sure. 22 minutes, 28 seconds. That's it. You just made the record.
Right.
And you just put your evidence onto that record. You just impress upon the record. Another way to prove that he is incompetent, okay? And this is only for our case now, okay? In their court, they're gonna presume he's competent. I had the judge tell me, oh, he's a cop, he knows the law. Okay, whatever. But how do I prove in my court that the cop is not competent? With discovery. You know how we go to their court, we use discovery.
Right.
We want to discover evidence. And when we put them in discovery for whatever, a jurisdiction, they tell us denied, they don't like discover, cannot find them, or you can find that out in the public. We never knew how to hold them in contempt for not producing the law.
Discovery.
Yes.
Document.
So if this guy don't want to answer these questions are calculated to prove, and these questions go in with your court case.
I'm sorry, which question?
These questions, I'm going to read them right now, okay? It's got the same heading because it's an element of this case. So this is the accusation, this is the evidence of the ticket,
Yep.
and
Of the false instruments.
yeah, and then this is the rules of the case, the notice. Weeks court presents notice. Firstly, I agree, declare and require. Only man has a capacity to give a competent answer in common law. Therefore, only competent witnesses may answer to the above numbered claim. All documents submitted by any incompetent source, the court will take notice as contempt, and contempt of court and will be void. Secondly, I say here and will verify in any open court that all contained herein be true. Real simple, letting them know. No attorneys, no attorney generals, because only a competent man can appear. And if you're incompetent and you try to press my record, you will be held accountable.
Right.
Okay? So this is a fair notice. And they don't say that I never get a fair notice. It's been served. It's been served.
Yeah, good.
Second notice of the law. And the reason you like this in there is so that he will go out and hire an attorney, or he will go bring somebody in, speak for him. He will know that, whoa, shit, the Weeks court presents notice again. Ooh, 2 rules he get. I wonder how many rules this guy get. Firstly, I agree, declare and require all documents, including recommendations and orders, into the case file has been affixed with a wet ink signature.
I love that.
The court can stamp, and you can hold no man accountable to that stamp. He could have grabbed somebody's stamp. I could have stamped my own. When you get a wet ink signature from that guy, who's accountable? So in the rules, you letting the magistrate know that I ain't gonna play around with you, boy. Okay? You gonna be man too. You gonna be man in my court. Whose court? Only man may appear. Only man may appear in this court. Okay? And the reason you put the rules up front is so that you can't hold them in contempt. If I don't tell you the rules, I cannot hold them against you when you break the rules. Okay? To be able to hold you in contempt of court, you gotta have fair warning that you get the rules. And then, not only that, you gotta have first and second warning.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you hold in contempt? You motion for discovery, then you motion to
Continuance, if you're not sure.
discovery, then you force discovery, and motion to show cause. Motion to show cause, well, you should not be held in contempt for not bringing that information forward. When we're in their court and we say, I want discovery, we don't have that information for you. When you're in your court and you say, well, I want him to admit, oh, he cannot. Well, you're gonna have to show cause why he as man cannot answer this claim. And after he cannot show cause, you can hold him in contempt. So if you summon the guy to court and he don't come, motion to show cause. Well, first you go motion to compel. You go motion to compel his appearance. You come back 3 days later, he's not there. Oh, perfect, judging. I'm gonna put him in. I demand leave of court for 2 minutes. I write another motion. Motion to show cause why John Doe should not be held in contempt for not obeying the court order. 1 sentence. Motion to show cause. You put that in. Now the judge is stuck because you run in court and you're making this guy say why he not following the court orders. Yeah? So, and you can also hold a judge in contempt. You can hold a judge in contempt. Anybody who walks into your court without being invited, you can hold them in contempt. They tried to step into my case. Which one? This Karchner. They tried to step into Karchner's case. So, and all they did was send him a letter. I sent him a simple letter saying, you know, I don't know you, I don't know who you are, but you causing burden on me. And if
Parkson's right here.
okay. Oh no, that's
Oh,
their
that's
case.
different. Oh, okay.
So basically it was, who are you and why are you trespassing on my claim? I didn't mention you in my claim. I do not.
So if
know
the
you.
judge or the attorney general, somebody else come in and start to press on you,
Fair warning.
Yeah.
Who are you
Yeah.
and why are you trespassing on my claim?
Okay, very good.
Real quick, in common law, there's trespass.
okay.
That's a direct injury or harm on your fellow man. Okay? And then you get trespass on the case. That's the two.
That's it, trespass
Yeah.
on a lawful case.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you suing the guy for trespass.
I like that.
And if the attorney general steps in and tries to defend him, he's trespassing on your case. That's the trespass on the case. And that's two real suits.
Okay.
And that's the
Man-
only two suits.
Man to
No,
man.
but, no, yeah, but it has to be in those words, you know, you
Yes.
just use it, so you
Yes.
understand,
But
plain
he
and
very
clear,
precise.
cut and dry,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you sue for the trespass, and if anybody come in and tries to jump in your court, and you can hold them in contempt, trespass on the case. So when I sued Karchner, 21 days later, I won. And about a week later, I get an answer from the attorney general.
What do you mean you won? What happened?
Default, right there, it's the case. Karchner's case.
Okay.
From Carl Smith, right?
What was that? Karchner.
On that case, then you,
Yeah.
what they
So-
said,
What's that?
You get the case. And
Yeah, I never showed up, so.
Yeah.
Default judgment. He never showed up, he never answered my court.
Oh, he never answered.
He never
And
answered my
then,
court. As according to the rules, you get 21 days to answer. The
then,
district court says you get 21 days, and
That's us in a
just
timely
so
manner.
happened, my rules say 21 days.
yeah.
Just so happened.
Yeah. So they was in default and they left you alone.
Default, done,
Default.
default. He was
He's out of there.
out of there. He's not even in Hawaii anymore. So, and that was a $31,752 suit. Itemized. Okay, so he left, but this is.
You mean your claim for damages was 31,000?
Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Real simple.
And so he left.
He never paid, he ran.
He not paid, he ran, yeah. Okay.
But this is Sanders.
I don't
But
mind.
if you do Karchner,
Okay, good.
okay,
This is good.
yeah, you see the thing in here.
So, what's the questions?
Okay, so then you get the questions. Where is the questions?
You had
I
it.
lost them. Okay,
Okay.
right here. So you want this. This is Leon. So this was basically a one-page lawsuit. Like I said, the clerk said, I never seen a one-page lawsuit in my life. I said, wow, here you go. So and she was stoked. She was like,
Lawsuit,
wow.
lawsuit upon the man who is contracted with the state of Hawaii, the officer, huh?
The man acting in the capacity of an officer.
Of an officer,
They're all
okay.
acting. Because we
Right.
all act. I'm a man. Maybe I'm acting as a teacher right now. Maybe I act as a
But he signed that's fraudulent instrument,
that's his
so
signature,
now you can go right to him.
right? It's like me writing something about you, signing, and then putting them into in public and ruining your life.
Okay.
You can take action.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, verifiable claim. Let me read them real quick, only one page. Okay? I am Michael Weeks, man of grief, and in this court of record brings this claim of trespass against the wrongdoer Sanders Leon. On March 27, 2018, Sanders Leon did utter false instruments that interferes with my right to property. See Exhibit 1, 2, and 3. And of course, that will be the tickets. And,
Yeah.
oh, the tickets.
Here's your evidence.
Yeah, the evidence.
Okay.
Number 2, said false instruments damages I to the amount of, but not limited to, $631.
That's the charges that he
Yes.
is placing on you.
Yes, yes, eye for an eye.
It's a lunch right
Eye for an eye.
That's right.
Yeah, if I demand you owe me $1,500, guess how much you can sue me for? If I was false. You can sue me for what I demanded and burdened you with.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay? Wherefore, and this is a clincher, two sentences, wherefore, I, Michael Weeks, demands compensation in the amount of $631 from the wrongdoer, Sanders Leon, along with any further relief that this court may deem reasonable and just under the circumstances.
This court meaning Michael Weeks Court.
Michael Weeks court.
Got it. Okay.
So, if I write one order saying, he owes me $631 and for physical damage and another $17,000 for punitive damages. And my lawyers agree, this dude like that. I write the order, I give it to the judge, and the judge sees fit, he has to sign it. If he don't sign it, I motion to make him show cause why he not following the Weeks Court of Rules. Because he works for the Weeks Court now. Okay, he's a magistrate. When you go and file your claim, you're gonna pay money to this venue. Okay? Lock him and rent the venue. He will come over here, he will do this. He will pay money into the venue. Okay? The administrator takes this money and he allows Lakia 6 hours. 6 hours you got that venue. Contract. You got that venue, you can use the lights, you can use the screens, you can use the bathrooms, you can use the clerk, you can use the bailiff, you can use the security system. You pay your claim, you pay your money into that venue. You can file your claim at this venue. Now, you rented the venue and all the stuff that come in the venue to run your claim because that's the proper venue. You're not gonna go to one restaurant and run one claim. You're not gonna go to the park and run one claim.
So,
You will run to the proper venue that hears such things and run your claim.
so that's why you go at the state courthouse because it is funded by the people.
It's a public venue.
Yeah, it's funded by the people, and it's presumed to be under corporate law, but you're going in, or you're going at that corporate venue, and you're invoking the common law. Okay,
True. However,
I see.
However, when you make your claim, it will always trump the corporate because the court is a corpse. They can never make a record. You will presume that, oh, an attorney came and spoke, and you, oh, damn, he spoke. But he never swore in. He never made the record. And why won't he swear in? And why won't the judge let him swear in? Because he's incompetent in your court. Attorneys have no competency. They're totally incompetent in a common law court. Attorneys have no first-hand knowledge, and they can never press upon the record.
Yeah.
Like I said, if Bob Marley making one song, he write the song, he cannot send 20 attorneys who will press the record. He has to be in the studio. He has to be the man who presses that record. Other than that, you got a blank record. No record. Yeah, an attorney cannot press a record.
Unless he becomes a real man again, then,
Yes,
then the
which-
bar will disbar him, but hey, congratulations.
Well, even if he becomes a real man, was he at
He
that
wasn't
incident?
at it.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you can be anybody you like, but you're still incompetent. And that's how you neutralize every attorney and every attorney general in your suit. In your suit. However, in their suit, they kangaroo.
They do whatever they want.
Yeah. And you cannot help that, other than to bring them up to man status, let them know your standing, so that they can do what's right.
So I love this, Michael. Thank you very much. How do we help our people? Because
Educating them.
well, yeah, but you know, a lot of people, our people are being. I mean, as each hour goes by, yeah, they're getting our people being stopped. Some of them with kingdom plates, and some of them, you know, just no enough money to pay for all these state regulations, yeah. But their heart is, you know, with the Queen, and their heart is with our nation. How do you see we'll be able to help our people? Because if we can help them, they'll help us.
I see,
Educate,
when we start learning how to stand as man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it'll
Stand
catch
up.
on.
They do naturally, yeah.
Stand up.
That's all we here
Get
today.
some wins like he
We're under
did.
oppression, and
Yeah.
they're under oppression.
You
So
cannot,
we have to pull them up and help
Yeah.
them stand right.
we gotta give our
You
fellow
gotta
man
get your
standing.
wins like
Yes.
you gotta get some wins like that, and then become one role
I like
model
this a lot.
like
I
this.
like this a lot. You know what?
One role model.
April 28th, which is a day after the Merry Monarch Parade, we meet a Sunday. We meet every Sunday at Uncle Robert's. Okay? And I would like, it's going to be a Kingdom Unity Summit. We're going to have more than one. But I would like, if you can, come back and, you know, share with our people, just like you're sharing with us right now. This is you know, another quantum leap of knowledge and help if you can.
But even the stumbling blocks you went through, seemed like he watched your whole presentation. Can he take what you just went teach him and do this?
Yes.
Does he have the no? Does he, you know, we all get retention, we all can see the bigger picture. But all he gotta do is take it to fruit, and he could be you tomorrow. If you would study all of
Well,
this.
yeah, if I need a copy of
Yeah. No, but and then he would be one rep. And if you willingly let him share your information with others, no need you, he can carry the ball.
I hope you can teach teachers.
Yeah.
well, we can do that. But see, our Lahui needs to do that for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
this is breakthrough. I agree. This is fantastic.
Yeah, no.
I see what I didn't see when I woke up this morning, and this is very, very helpful. So big mahalo.
Let me go through the questions that you was asking.
Thank you, that was because, you know, Carl called me.
So I will, anyway, I will,
Questions, yeah.
I would put the questions together, the discovery motion together, so that you don't need asking these questions in court. When you get to court, everything should be taken care
What's
of.
filed already?
Everything should be taken care of. When they ask you, oh, what are you here for?
Yeah.
Well, I have a claim before the court. Have you read my claim?
Yeah.
Well, I have not. Well, would the magistrate like to take 5 minutes and read my claim? It's just a one-pager.
Mm-hmm.
And you step back.
Yeah.
And if you don't, well, shall I hold you in contempt for not educating yourself as to what my claim speaks about? You know, and you gotta hold them. You gotta hold them. They're gonna try you. They're gonna try. They've been
Bluff and scare and
They've been doing
fear.
that for 30 years. They practice every day. They practice every day.
Yeah, we get it.
However, how often does man appear with proper status, proper standing?
Never.
Hopefully more and more and more and
More
more.
and more, yeah. And they can tell you, no, you're not man. You can believe them. And they can tell you, no, government is above man.
No, I'm woman.
Woman. Yeah, exactly.
Man and woman,
Yeah.
that's right.
So,
government without man.
you know, can have. You gotta have man. Yeah, you're gonna have man to have courts. Yeah.
Okay.
So these questions, or these statements were calculated so that you don't need get him to answer in court. When this goes in and the magistrate reads it, this is all the evidence.
yeah.
The evidence.
Simplify them, man.
Yeah. So I suing him for uttering a forged instrument,
Yep.
not being competent. Okay, and how we're gonna prove it? Motion for discovery. And if you don't answer them, you motion to propel discovery or motion to force discovery. And if you still beat around the bush, motion for contempt or motion to show cause why he shouldn't be held in contempt.
Okay.
So you can always hold him in contempt before a case, the trial even starts. Everything should be done
Right.
before the trial
You're
starts.
supposed to be able to review the discovery beforehand.
Yeah. So by the time you get to court, the judge will review, slam the thing, and you can write your order. Why? Because he doesn't need to say anything, I don't. The paperwork speaks for itself.
What's your questions?
Okay, so, no, these statements are calculated to prove that the cop is not competent, and he did utter a forged instrument that he refused, okay? So, same caption, yeah? Admit or deny, okay? Remember now, the preamble says what's going on. The aggrieved man, Michael Weeks, requires wrongdoer Sanders Leon to admit the truth of the following statements of fact. Okay? Number one, I, the wrongdoer, am not an attorney. He's gonna say, right, I'm not an attorney. I, a wrongdoer, have never been an attorney. I admit it. And how I know he's not an attorney, and he never had an attorney's bar license? Because if he has been an attorney and he's competent, he would know that he cannot write me a ticket.
Right.
Right, but he's not an attorney, he's incompetent. That's why he's issuing these fraud instruments.
Right.
Okay? Number two, I, a wrongdoer, have never been an attorney. Number three, I, a wrongdoer, have never been issued a bar license.
Michael, but the lead prosecutor and the attorney general, yeah, they're all contracted with the bar. So they're supporting this officer's right or job
But he's
to write
getting to
fraudulent
his-
contract.
And when you get to letter writing, I will show you how to hold them all accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
I will skip the letter
Well, I
writing.
guess my point is, it doesn't matter if he's an attorney or not, because
It doesn't.
they don't have any jurisdiction
However,
to do this.
you want to prove your case before you walk in.
You wanna win your case, you
wanna
gotta
win your
go
case.
through these steps.
So
You
you
don't
see,
be short.
file a case if you plan on not bringing the evidence.
Right.
Can you read this?
Well, what if he said it? What if the officer was an attorney?
Then he wouldn't utter a forged instrument. He would
But
know
then,
that he cannot.
all day long, attorneys are supporting forged instruments, all day long.
How often you see one man go and make the claim?
Never.
That's the problem. That's the problem. We don't get our shit together. They got their stuff together. They've been doing it for 35 years, 20 years to me. I never have my thing together, so I couldn't properly state my claim.
Okay.
I always thought I was a defendant
Right,
because,
right.
and what is a defendant? Go over there and take the punches.
Property.
Yeah.
Property of them.
So, what do you need to?
Second part of number two.
Number two, I, a wrongdoer, have never been an attorney. So this is just proving that he incompetent, yeah?
Right.
Number three, I, a wrongdoer, have never been issued a bar license number. Number four, I, the wrongdoer, am not qualified to interpret legal code.
Right,
Now,
that's
charging you for legal
an
code.
ace right there.
Yes.
Charging you for breaking legal
Right there.
code. You never
Those
break any
exact
of it.
words,
Right, okay.
no other words.
Number 5, I, the wrongdoer, am not authorized to practice law.
Right,
Oh, law enforcement officer. You're gonna admit, you're not authorized to practice law. Just because I put title of dummy, that don't mean I'm a dummy. I just wear the hat. I
right.
just put it on a badge. Okay? Number 5. Oh, I did that. I am not authorized to practice law. So I'm not authorized to interpret, I'm not authorized to practice. Number 6, I, the wrongdoer, am not a member of the legal society in good standing. Judges, attorneys, counselors, they're part of the legal society, they get bar numbers. They gotta pay their insurance, they gotta be indemnified, and they will be held in good standing.
Right,
This guy, he's not a member of the legal society, let alone in good standing.
right,
He never paid his admission fee.
right.
Number 7, I, the wrongdoer, did sign legal instrument titled complaint on 11/24. See the attachments.
Right,
Yeah, he didn't sign them. I never made him sign. He took me out of my reality
right,
and uttered forged instruments. Okay? I, the wrongdoer, did file said instruments onto the public record. So not only did I fake something, but I went out into the world. I told the world.
right,
I slandered you.
right.
Okay? So you see where it's going here? Okay? I, the wrongdoer, did leave with the aggrieved a written demand charged for monetary consideration. He left me one bill.
Yep.
Yeah, and just, he don't know what the bill is, but he didn't write them down. Okay? I, the wrongdoer, did order and demand property from the aggrieved. Remember,
The
now,
license.
once they flash their lights, your time is your property.
Right.
Once they flash their lights,
Yeah.
your heartbeat skips a beat, your breath, that's your property. Once they flash their lights and you stop for them, that's your property.
Trespass.
Anything else is just more property.
Right, the license, registration,
more
that's all
property.
more property.
Okay, I, the wrongdoer, did demand and use up personal time from the aggrieved. Okay. I, the wrongdoer, can be expected that defraud, extortion, and forgery may injure his fellow man. Okay, and then you always close them with, as according to the rules of the Weeks Court, the wrongdoer must serve written response on the aggrieved at my address within 14 days of service. You give them, okay? If a wrongdoer fails to do so, a default may be entered against the wrongdoer for the relief demanded in the claim. Remember now, the wrongdoer never need to show up. He can lay down, sleep, and hide. You gotta impress that record. You, Elvis Presley. No mind if that guy never come. You have your claim before the court. He has nothing to claim. He has a right to be silent. He has a right to say nothing. He probably know he's guilty. That's why he's being quiet.
Acquiescence.
Yeah. So, but the plaintiff must appear. The claimant must appear.
Yes.
The claimant must impress the record.
It's a verified claim.
Yes, you have to verify that I was here, I was in this.
I've been harmed, I've been
Yeah.
trespassed. Yeah.
So basically, this is just to have them admit, any cop, any plumbing inspector, anybody who utters a forged instrument.
Okay. Now, when you say utter sounds like they just said something.
Utter could be any conveyance of a matter.
Conveyance.
Any conveyance of, you can use words.
You can say
words.
conveyance of a forged
Yeah.
instrument.
And yeah,
Okay.
you can
Okay.
put written, you can put issued, issuance.
Issued a forged.
But I would warn
Fraudulent.
you, I would caveat that try to steer clear from legal verbiage.
Right.
Because when they get your paper, the attorney or the guy, he gonna have a counsel. He gonna come. His attorney cannot come to court, but he gonna go on a phone call and talk to the state and everybody. And he gonna say to them, and the state, and they gonna go like, oh, shoot. So that's why y'all gotta be so tight that they don't want anything to slash.
Okay.
So This one, maybe number 13 they could slash. Because maybe not every man can be expected to know that defraud and extortion and forgery can injure a fellow man. So that he might be not applicable, So there's,
It's common knowledge.
yeah, it may be, but maybe not to him.
So how does that get addressed in a court? Is there a third party that reads this,
No,
or you read it?
okay, so with the
Those
basic,
incompetent things.
yeah, so with the basic claim, you will write the claim, which is a lawsuit, yeah? Then you have a summons to bring the guy in, right? So in your claim, you can look through, you can see what summons. Which is going to be Sanders Leon claim, which is probably this, or as default claim. I get my papers all over now. But anyway, a summons, basically, right there, a summons, okay? So, with your claim, you're gonna have to give them fair warning to come and fend for themselves in court. You cannot write one claim and let it go to the wind.
But it gotta be file stamped too, no?
Gotta be file stamped. So when you go down there, you file a claim and the summons and your rules of court, okay? And it's all inside here, claims, summons, rules of court. And once you put that in, you're gonna stamp them all. You're gonna file you're gonna stamp the claim, you're gonna stamp the summons, and the rules of court is already in your claim, so it's the front page. So you get 2 documents you're gonna have. These 2 documents, you can make copies, you can put them in a folder for the service. So you can call the service, process server, and you say, I have a case to serve, can we meet? Oh yeah, sure, I'm at certain. So you go over there, you can give her your case, which is gonna be a full suit. This can come in like this, okay? So this one is summoning Mary Rose Rayner. You get 1 copy of the complaint and summons, 1 self-addressed stamped envelope, and in a copy of the complaint, you're gonna have your discovery. Discovery is not necessary, but you don't like go in there and have to talk. You let all the paperwork speak for itself. So when they talk to you, you're not in danger of losing your court by uttering the wrong words. You can just say, well, I have a complaint filed before this court, having reviewed the documents. Yes, I did, so what clarifications may I help you with? And then you're not going to jam up your claim.
You open yourself up to that
Yeah.
presumption again.
Don't speak in court. If you can speak only the words that you wrote. Because once I start speaking off my subject,
Yep.
this is, now I have a different claim. Now this must be a false claim. Why is this false claim? Because I'm not uttering the same claim as I filed in court. So you gotta shut your mouth and let your claim speak.
Right.
You cannot
Stick to your, yeah, no can go off on left
shut your mouth and
field.
let your claim speak. Once you start adding, you falsifying.
You jeopardizing your case
Yes,
already.
yes.
yeah.
So the least you can speak and the more can be on pepper before you get in. That's the best. If you go in there, you just speak your name. Say, oh, my name is Michael Weeks. I am man. I have a common law case before this court. As the Weeks court dictates, we have 2 rules, and I don't see the wrongdoer. Would the magistrate wish to summon the wrongdoer and haul him in? Because I would. And you control him. You control court. Remember now, you don't need to talk legalese. Don't talk legalese. You talk man to man. You talk what the jury can understand. You talk street talk. Once you try to talk about them,
Because this stuff you could even take them as far as jury, right?
yes, yeah.
You can take them through the procedures, right, to jury.
So you can either demand jury trial.
Yeah.
You can go over here. Jury trial.
In
Or-
their system,
No. At the venue.
at the venue, jury
In your
trial.
court. In your court.
Okay.
Under your court, yeah.
Under your court.
So you select the jurors?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, so
Yes.
you're keeping it in common law adjudication?
Yes.
Always, okay.
Yes.
And you can use sheriffs to do, the regular sheriff to serve paperwork for you.
Yeah.
See, now, this is important because, you know, you show up with, what, anywhere from 3 to 6 people, if you can,
Yeah.
okay?
I've been in there by myself a million times, but if you get your court, you want to bring courtiers. You want to intimidate that dude as much as you can.
Right.
Because you know he ain't showing up with nobody. Because anybody come in gonna be held in contempt.
So, no, but when you show up by yourself, your jury is not there.
You're gonna pick jury.
Huh?
You're gonna have to
Oh,
pick
if you're
jury.
taking it to jury, no, if you're taking it, that's later on. If
Yeah.
it's a slam dunk, you're not.
They're not gonna let
deal
the
with
trial.
jury.
Believe me.
We're
When
not
you get
gonna
up
let
there
the
on
jury
file.
trial.
Okay, you never surrender into their system, right? So when you say jury trial, it's
Trial by jury.
Trial by jury, but it's not, it has nothing to do. Well, I guess my question is, when you select a jury, both you and the alleged wrongdoer have to agree who the jurists are gonna be?
Gotta be fair warning. Remember, man to man, level playing field. Just because he took advantage of you, you cannot take advantage back.
But
So-
like you said, it'll never get to that.
Not gonna get to
It'll
that.
never- It's just
Okay,
an
well, I
option.
just, yeah.
But it's come to him.
Then he has a right to have a say in who's gonna be in that jury,
Yes.
right? Okay,
Yes.
just like you. And in common law, both parties have to agree who the jurists are.
I don't know, I never hit that step. I don't
See,
know.
Yeah,
back
jury
in Kingdom
selection,
days-
jury selection is normally like that.
Yeah, you both sides gotta agree.
And at the same time, you gotta remember now, whose court, whose rules. They don't can tell you your rules no work.
Oh, yes, that's correct, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
your rules.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta be
You find it.
quiet about it and not,
Well, that's fair though, yeah, you know, so
Yeah.
if, that you give him every opportunity to come into agreement with you who the jurist should be. In Kingdom days, when there was a controversy between an American and a Hawaiian, they would have, you know, 6 Americans and they would have 6 Hawaiians, and that would be the way they.
oh,
So-
I would pick Hawaiian nationals, I would pick Kanaka. I would pick Kanaka all the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I do.
I don't care if I got $1.05, 600 Americans. It's my court, my case.
And
You
it's
know,
our-
I can go 6 months picking people.
Yeah, and it's our soil,
Yeah.
right here, okay, good.
Yeah. That's the nice thing, that's the nice thing about writing your own case, is
Yeah.
you have control over every single word and element of your case.
That's correct.
When you start using court forms and
Oh.
filling in the blanks,
You're in their venue.
you're in their venue, you're applying to run your court, you're applying to have your lawsuit heard in their court. So,
That's a no-win.
that's a no
Oh,
win.
yeah, automatic.
You experienced that
What
already,
people don't
right?
realize that is when they fill this out, they come with 16 pages of rules that you gotta go learn.
Yeah, you done.
And the other side's attorney, he's been practicing these rules for a long time.
And they can change it anytime they want.
And if you can come in thinking that you're gonna find the rules and memorize them, and that's why I open up my own court
Okay.
with my own language, so that they don't can jerk my chain
Yeah.
as a tight suit.
You know what, Mike? I usually file, but I file one day before I go to court, so there's no more time for look 'em over and rehearse everything. When I walk inside, I serve the judge and give the prosecutor everything. Then they read it, oh, it's a shock to me, Your Honor. You want I read it to you? No, I have it right here, I'm reading it right now. I give the judge first before I walk in. But I don't file and give them 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 months. No way, I come in the same day, I just pass it to the judge.
Okay, I used to do that, but because it's my case, I preemptive. Gotta be.
Timely manner, you give them,
As soon as you get pulled over, you write your lawsuit, you take them straight over there. Boom. So 21 days later, you get caught. 21 days later, he get caught. We meet in the same venue, and okay, Mr. Magistrate, what's higher, a claim or a complaint?
Very good.
no, on the day you file your complaint, you already say you want the discovery, which you like
Yeah.
see early, right?
Yeah.
You like see before you get caught.
You gotta take one proactive approach. Gotta be
Right.
proactive. You cannot go in there hoping that somebody will defend you or that the judge gonna figure something out for you, or that you gonna speak and.
You're protected in the law. You're protected.
Yeah, well, so, you gotta be proactive about it. You gotta be proactive. You can,
You like a discovery.
Do you go to the police station and file also as well as the court?
You like see
I- What, the lawsuit?
That's a give.
Yeah, you know, because, well, I asked because the wrongdoer works at the police station.
Right.
So do you deliver him?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't sue him, not. You sue him.
Right.
So you can deliver him anywhere, but you look at the name.
You don't see that.
Officer.
But you see that.
So-and-so.
Okay, right, the man. Sandy's Leon, the man.
God made him man.
Okay, very good. So you go to his house?
No, it's not you, it's the process server. You cannot touch the witness, you temporary. Now you were burning him. You cannot harass him. You gotta let it be, give him to a third-party impartial server. They will serve it and notify the court.
That they will contact you, okay.
And this is the notification to the court right here, real simple. Michael Weeks paid $35 to have his case heard at the court. Okay, so this is me paying my way, so I own the venue for that time. Okay, and this is the process server confirming that she went deliver for one price. So now, she go takes this to the court saying, oh, the wrongdoer got me notice, here's my court certification. So that's just your proof that he's been notified.
Wins.
Wait a minute, you pay the district court $35, and now that court is yours? You can do it, is that what
For
I'm
the
doing?
35 minutes or whatever, you get so many minutes, eh?
So they're gonna ask
I
you,
never know you could do that.
they're gonna ask
That's
you,
right.
they're gonna ask you how long you think your case gonna take.
What room?
Some
Did they tell you
arrogant
what room it
prosecutors,
is?
I tell you what, some arrogant prosecutors, when I standing in front of the judge in the prosecutor's case, the judge asked them, so, how long gonna take you to convict Mr. Weeks? These arrogant guys go, I can do him in 4 minutes.
Right.
So they're looking for timing. You paying your money in to rent that venue. So when he asked me,
So-
how long you think you could need? I'll take 35 minutes.
You mean you can rent courtroom 2C,
It's
second
just a
floor?
venue.
What?
Just a venue.
Yeah, it goes to the public.
I didn't know that.
That's the common law.
No, wait. What's that?
Several things we all never know.
Yeah, oh, yeah. We can rent courtroom 2C?
What do you think you do when you pay money to the court clerk
Pay for the renting of that space.
Yeah.
to hear your claim?
Because it's your court, Michael Weeks versus.
Well, it will be you versus, right?
Right.
It's gonna be the top
But,
sheriff.
okay, but it doesn't say what room or anything here, yeah?
Oh, look, I only get one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I only get one.
Wow, I'm gonna go down there too.
You know, when we do government elections.
Huh?
When we do government,
Yeah.
like sovereign, LHG elections, I call the election, or I go down to the election office. I tell them on this day, I would like to have these many booths. And then they go, okay, we'll call down to the election to the guy at the storage place. And, when do you want to go down to pick it up? I go, I'll go down tomorrow. Okay, we'll have them, he'll give it to you. I'll go down to by the industrial area. I'll go down to where the storage is. Greg or whatever his name is. He goes, okay, how many? I said 35. He goes, okay. He puts them all in the boxes. He gives me 35 metal boxes with the stands. I take them for free. Yeah.
Using state of Hawaii
Uses
equipment.
Flags and all. I mean, the things that people go to at the schools. Same booths.
Mhm.
And then I collect them all after we finish our elections, make sure I get everything. He even gives me the ballot boxes. And then I take it back, we count it up, he takes it back, he says, thank you very much. I see you, and I go, okay, I'll see you in like 2 years or 4 years or whatever. He goes, okay, thank you, Sid.
Mhm.
And then,
Man has a right to
no charge.
yeah, man has rights.
Because those are our facilities,
That's
it's
right.
ours.
Okay.
The corporation doesn't own anything, the corporation.
Take pictures of
Doesn't
the
own
important
property.
stuff with your phone.
Yeah.
No, my old phone not gonna work with this
That's
one.
cool.
If I can take a break, I'll make copy.
You know, over the violation?
Yeah, actually,
This
you
is
guys, you see, like right here, it doesn't show that you rent, or there's court costs, but that doesn't show that you actually paid $35 for a court
Oh,
room.
no, give me a receipt. That is a receipt.
Well, I mean, it's a receipt, but it doesn't show,
The venue.
yeah, I mean, I
So
believe
you're
you.
looking for a name on the door?
Well, I want, when I pay my, I don't know how much they're gonna charge,
Yeah,
but when I want room 2B or 2C,
Whose rules? Do it.
our rules, yeah.
Do it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
I cannot do them for you. You have to.
exactly, exactly.
But you can demand, you know the next time I get pulled over and I sue a guy, I want to go outside under the coconut tree in front of the library and go, hear ye, hear ye. We are having a trial on Michael Weeks' claim in the Michael Weeks court, and we need any third party non-witnesses to come and be jury. I want to hear ye under the coconut tree. My court, my rules, and I believe can. I can just yell through town. Hear ye. Anybody want to be part of the jury? And
Good
then-
job, drive, kill, call.
and how, you gotta think about it, in the old days, how did they do court?
Thank
Not
you.
with attorneys.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Court-
This is very helpful.
Court came to be way before attorneys and the legal system.
Yeah.
Attorneys and the legal system, what they did was take the public venue, say the library, and the library, they come in 6 o'clock in the morning, they take over all the books, all the videos, all the tables, all the chairs, and the lawyers got them all. Does that mean I as a public cannot go into the library and look at a book? No, just because they ousted and took control of all the furniture, that would mean the venue is not there for my use. And all I gotta do is say, hey, there's the money, contract, I want this space. What does the space come with? Electric, water, clerk, filing cabinets, copy machine, and you get the venue, just like how you rent the venue, it comes. You don't need to look for lights. You don't need to look for a magistrate and carpeting. It comes in the venue.
Can we convene our court in a venue outside, in your opinion? Can we convene a court outside of the state courtroom?
Yes.
Can, right?
Yes.
Well, right now, we have Uncle Roberts that we can convene, and we have, we've met every week for 5 weeks now. And so, when we do our summons, we can summon them to our court.
How would you go at Uncle Robert's Aina for the Weeks Court, for the Thomas J. Rose Court? So they're gonna get their date stamped, and now you're gonna inform the magistrate and the wrongdoer that court will be held.
Yeah.
This is just an address of any address you like.
You know what though?
Yes.
How much more powerful would it be to have it done at the court?
That's
At their court.
And then,
That's the key.
yeah, at their court, and invite people so they can observe how this
That's a good
process is going.
Yeah.
You
In
want
a
to use the
courthouse.
proper venue.
Yeah, because it's gonna give a certain feel to the legitimacy
well, then-
of the action.
And with the news reporter.
We will,
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll invite our people to come
Yeah, this is
to
a learning. This
what
is a
we
learning
thought was
session.
their venue, but we've converted a corporate law venue into God's
It's not even a corporate
King-
law, it's just a venue.
People,
Just a venue.
a venue.
Well, I mean, but in our minds, it was like state of Hawaii.
So that's why you're gonna hoolie that.
We're hooli then. That's the real hooli.
That's the hooli. That's the flipping thinking.
Hooli
It's yours.
response. Good. Right on.
Yeah, so always remember now, it's your venue.
No, because what was the original, was it common law, the original law?
Common law, all the states or the countries,
Yeah.
you look at France, you look at America, you look at state of Hawaii. Section 1, Article 1 of all their stuff, all based on common law.
Right,
Why?
not kingdom law,
Because
common law.
you need man to write law. So you
Right.
cannot have a written law, you cannot have statute without common man writing the
Right,
statute.
because common came first, this other stuff, kingdom law that came after, they just didn't
Yes.
get right.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
common, yeah.
Well, God's law existed before man even was manifest.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
And-
common law is the lore or tradition that we picked up from the Magna Carta time, you know, that the European.
Common law is the common law practiced by the common people.
Right, right. Huh?
Kingdom laws. We had kingdom laws.
Yeah.
But we had our own.
Right, right.
Yeah.
They
That's why I told our attorney, I only ask you one
Kingdom
question.
law and all of that, but it was all common law.
Ultimately,
that's his
yeah.
attorney. I give him a question. He said, what's your question? You guys using our laws. He said, what you mean? Oh, no, why you revise statutes? He said, oh, you guys reversing it.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, but
Wait.
the word to use is
How
common
revise
law.
statute was?
Yeah.
Yes, so that it's universal and it's recognized.
Our
You know, when you start throwing the word
is-
kingdom in there like that, judges cop on attitude, huh?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, so leave that out, you go with common, and then you get the
So
results
it's
you're
just
looking
common,
for.
never changed.
Yeah.
No can change.
Yeah. Right.
The wing, that's what you like, get the wing.
You don't like to put any extra pork fat in
Yeah.
there. Because they're good, they're very good. And
Yeah.
you know how easy for them make you lose your court?
Yeah,
Once you
you
start
just
trying to
go-
defend yourself
You just
against-
throw one word like kingdom out there, you just
Bang.
blank ears, you
Bang.
blank the whole case, done.
Why?
You
Because.
just sink your
Not
vote,
enough
you know what I
people.
mean?
Yeah, now you bring.
Oh, but I had to use the word kingdom, but you just would sink your vote.
You're gonna lose your court. You got it, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't completely believe that. I don't believe when I invoke God's kingdom on earth as justification for who I
You
am.
can't assume it. You gotta show if it works, it works. If
Well,
it works,
You know,
assume
sometimes
and
working-
eliminate.
I don't always expect to win in court. I mean, this is very helpful, but I know if I stand in honor, and if I say I'm standing in the Hawaiian Kingdom, and that's God's law on God's, you know, as codified in our kingdom.
And you lose.
Well, see,
On that.
you say I lose.
No,
I don't
if
say
you
that's a
lose, though.
loss.
If you
No.
lose, and then what? And if you never, because you never follow his script, and you lose, then what? All for naught.
No. My point is, as long as a man stands in honor, you never lose.
Okay.
That's my point. Now,
It jails itself
I,
for guys like that, waiting.
I've been there, you know, just like several of us. But I don't want to, I don't want to throw out the fact that we have a common law constitutional monarchy. It is common.
Okay.
You know, it's, our founding document proves it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, but you know, I really, he knows me, I really respect his wisdom and his knowledge. But, you know, my track record is learning right now, but this is very, very powerful because you're bringing common law, you know, direct, outside of any political venue. Yeah, you're coming directly man to man, and that's very powerful. I just feel like Hawaiian Kingdom can support each man, each woman's capacity to move in the law as our nation. Because our nation supports each man's unalienable right.
I think what's happening is you're putting two different cases before the court. One, the legality of the Hawaiian government, and two, your claim against getting a ticket for a female.
Two separate
And
issues.
so why, that's two different
I see what
cases,
you-
right? Right now, because your overall goal is to bring Hawaiian Kingdom law back and that whole thing, which is all our eventual goal. But this court thing for Ticky just got, that's a whole different issue. Why confuse that simple issue with all this complex other stuff? Because that's not the venue to bring the kingdom back. That court's never gonna bring the kingdom back,
Right.
ever. You know?
Right.
And that court doesn't need to bring the kingdom back, because the kingdom never left. But,
That's right.
so why argue that in court and make your case a
No,
mess?
I'm not making
Keep
an
it simple.
argument there.
Yeah.
I'm not making an argument there. I'm just saying that the Tamashiro court, the common law court, the
Yeah.
Tamashiro court is emanating out of Hawaiian Kingdom.
Yeah, now see, that's something you might state on yourself in your personal court, like Michael Weeks' court, he doesn't need to bring that up, because he knows who he is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I
there's
see
no
what
doubt
you're
who he is.
I don't, yeah, I don't
Okay.
think, it's not a question, so I'm not gonna put him up.
Yeah, why bring him up? It's just adding more fluff to the case to confuse people.
Okay, well,
And
once again,
I have, if you
Yeah.
look at my first case,
yeah.
the one she didn't run before I could get him served. I lost my court. I lost my court because I talked too much in that case. And
Okay,
you look at it, 27 sentences.
okay.
And after my third case, when I finally kind of got things figured out, I look at number one, I said, fuck, if she answers this, I lose my court. So I had to go and refile the case because I had to clean up all my other.
Before the case started, you refiled them again.
Yes. As long as they don't answer, as long as, if it's served, you need their permission to edit the case.
Gene, your way is good, but you know what the problem is about that way? Nobody will bring the monarchy back, or bring our laws back. Gotta elect them king. That way is alright, but I think this way is the way we gotta go right now.
Well, yeah, but this opens up the door for bigger things down the road, but you gotta establish this strong and
This
start
stops
cracking the
them
door
from
open.
messing with our people.
Big time.
That's the
I
problem.
can
Our
attest to
people
that.
are going to jail for no reason.
I went to jail plenty times, but since I become a prosecutor, I shit you not. No seatbelt.
Yeah, you're on.
No, and you getting recognition is the number one. They're recognizing you, and of course, you know, they're taking them to nephew, cousin. Hey, look at this paperwork. Bulletproof, you know what I mean? Where this guy came from.
Pretty solid.
No, but you know what I mean? So that's why you get it on, you simplify them, and what you're teaching the people is simplicity. You cannot go overboard. They don't like that. They do that already. They dazzle you with all of this, you know, verbiage and stuff like that. But you simplifying it and you, wow, if we follow his rules, we could just jump through all the courts. Okay, man.
Oh, you fly through court so fast?
Yeah.
So fast, you don't even speak.
Yeah,
You file your papers, you're wrong.
right.
And that's how you gotta get them down to. You don't like have to show up to court and try to the dude. And then all of your fighting.
We seen how they stretch them, you know what I mean? We strongly recommend a public defender. We strongly recommend,
Right.
you know what I mean? Strongly, you understand, we're gonna send you to jail, you know what I mean?
Just a time, check for everybody, we're at, 11:15.
Oh.
So, I know we have the venue till 12, so either
Wow.
we wrap up final
Yeah.
points or,
Yeah.
get questions.
Let me cover,
We just wanna make sure we get, you know,
Nice.
at time.
Yeah.
Just to keep us
So-
on track.
I guess, like, I can make more copies, or we can get copies to you guys somehow. I missed my flight last night, so I never.
Oh, you never come in last night?
No, I came in this morning.
Okay, slow flight, never make it to the
Cancel, but,
Then come in the
If you guys-
go fast
You
and.
like, have some paper around, everybody can put their
Yeah.
email that.
so, but if you look at them, it's so
Solid, bro. I
It's
got
simple.
copies of everything.
Yeah, and you name the court, you name the rules, and you name your wrongdoer, and you name what they owe. That's all.
So, but you go make copies.
Yeah, again. So,
So someone that just got tickets, how would you, how do you approach it?
if I got pulled over right now,
And you got a new, fresh off the plane.
okay, so officer would walk up, I would say, hey, good morning, officer, what's going on? Well, I noticed you're not using your seatbelt. I would say, oh, your hand? Well, code player RSVPPP 223 says you gotta wear a seatbelt. No, I never read that. Did you read that, officer? Yes, it's in a yellow book. Oh, perfect. You see my signature? That's how I'm gonna do it. That's straight. I'm not gonna beat around the bush, ask for officer, you ain't competent. And don't be trying to push me into competency because we both in the same boat. You never read the law, I never read the law. You can write one ticket on something you never read. I'm gonna sue you before you get your ticket to the courtroom. And give me the ticket. Who's gonna lose? Who's gonna lose if you give me the ticket?
Wait, you gave him fair warning,
Fair warning,
you know what I mean? Which was a courtesy call on your side.
courtesy call.
Yes.
So when you go and make a special appearance for your ticket, how do you handle that?
I am man. I am not competent to interpret legal code. I can only stand as man. Man to man judge, do you think I am competent? Oh, a man-to-man judge, is this officer competent in legal world code? Well, man-to-man, you gotta let this go because none of us are competent.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I mean, and they will beat around the bush. Well, I had the judge tell me, well, you know, Mr. Weeks, you look pretty competent. I won't just believe you that you're not competent. I said, well, you believe what you may, man, but I'm not competent to interpret legal code.
Right.
Go on.
I'm not gonna jump in your venue,
I'm
right?
not gonna agree that I read this stuff and I understand it because
That
I'm
is
not
the number one thing you like establish, is you going
That's
this
also
way.
man to man.
Yeah, and believe me, they're gonna try to convince you. They're gonna read the book and you just tell them, I don't know, what the heck did you just read? I didn't write that book.
I can make a copy of this and come right back so that we can get a copy for everybody, because this is yours one, yeah? I can run to office next, yeah? I'll make a copy of it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I have money to do it.
Leaving like about 12:30, I think, but.
No, I'll
Can you
be,
fly that later?
I'm going to Hawaii printing, I'll just, you know, I don't know how many I can make with this.
Just big.
I'll make, you know, I can just make a few and then people can get it back to each other, I don't
Or
care.
you can take pictures with your phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I can email them to you guys. I get them all in an
Yeah.
email too.
That
Yeah, I
way you
don't
don't
want
have to
email.
worry about him missing his plane and all of that.
I can email them, no problem.
Okay.
Email them to my, in fact, I get your email address. Huh?
Email to my phone.
Okay.
My phone number.
Grab me one copy, your email, or you get your email.
Yeah, mine's easy.
Yeah, email.
Eric, can you use your phone?
So you have photographs of this that you could email?
It's all in my documents, yeah.
Okay.
I can just email the documents.
So,
So,
I didn't know I could rent a
You seen this, Angie?
That's so.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, we got new copy over there.
1:30.
We have this one.
That's the one.
Ja,
you get.
Mordechai's flight leave kilo. Ja, that was like the last flight, you know, at 2 o'clock.
Okay, what you are sorry, no.
That's it, yeah.
That was the only flight.
Yeah, I gotta go all the way in one time.
Yeah, put your
But no
email.
matter how
Why
you
not?
try to change up your flight stuff, you would just have to stay till.
What, Mokolele?
No, why?
Oh,
Yeah, on weekend, only one flight leaves Kilo.
straight to
to one
Molokai.
time.
Check with
No,
your
stop
email,
off.
make sure I get it for him, okay?
Only, every
One
day,
a day, yeah.
one a day, and it's at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock.
And the only flight comes in the day before, flies in here at 10.
Take a picture then have you explain, oh, this is that and that is that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
So it leaves at 8,
later.
but arrives here till 10.
Yeah, this is
And
just
the next flight
fair
comes in
warning, yeah.
on the same day.
So
So it's like,
this went to,
you cannot stay. you know
US
what I mean?
Pacific
You
Command.
just come in and out. I was like,
this is a prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, and then of course, and you know, I always,
and then Sunday.
anytime I
in
see
the morning, you get 2 flights.
rules of court
So
being
last
broken
hour,
on
you
their
get
part,
2 o'clock, you
I
get
turn their court in. Be proactive
So
and
like, I was like,
verbalize it. Put them on paper. Say, hey, this guy is ruining. They're not following their own rules. They're not gonna get in trouble for it, but the police commission, the judicial commission has a record. So now, when I warn that judge man to man, the commission cannot
You
step
see
in
the
and
bottom?
go, wait,
That's all
he's been
there
doing good all
for
this time.
free.
No, I informed you. I gave you
That
fair
12
warning
feet
that your
long.
subordinate was working outside the scope of his
It's
authority.
gonna be our banner
So,
in marijuana.
so real quick,
Yeah.
in the last 2 years, I think maybe when I started getting pulled over on Molokai, I never know what to do. I was getting pulled over all the time. And I was trying to stand my ground in court, trying to claim I want Hawaiian national and I got rights.
Slam dunk, son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Yeah. Because a national don't have rights. He has obligations and
Right, no.
duties to his country. Yeah, so what I started doing was the proactive approach.
What is you? Rep or also know?
Representative.
I saw that down in court. I also know. So I don't see nothing else. It's my name and also know. That's who I am. I'm a government official. Everybody just sit there. Don't say nothing. I know it's my name.
Try to claim your status as man under God with the rights to represent your country.
That's all you heard.
So you would say, well, my birth name is, my parents' given name
I
was.
am man, I have rights. Once you put I am man, the legal society, there is they've been in school a long time. I stayed my year and a half of legal law
Studies,
school.
right.
Yeah. And I know that when man stands,
All the fictions run,
gone. No.
they're done. Yeah.
Man has appeared. When man appeared, everything else is no.
Yeah.
Only man can make a thumbprint, only man can put fingerprints, only man can
Right.
produce.
Right, correct.
So the judge has responsibilities to the court. Whose court? That's the key. You gotta be your court. If he has responsibilities to the fraud court, everything will be fraud. Yeah. But when you get him responsible to your court, you hold
Right,
it.
and the cops, job description is public safety,
When,
right?
Right.
what you call that?
Right. So they protect
the
the
mayor
property of us.
Say, LHG, don't give a place down there, but, Civic, you sue him then, sue the mayor.
Yeah.
Not the mayor, the man acting at the capacity.
Yeah.
You gotta, one thing I have to start learning and even verbalizing
The
is,
man acting in that representative, or the man representing
Yes.
the state.
because he ain't ever gonna sue on cop, or on politician, or on attorney, or on governor, or on mayor. That's an office. They will take the people out of office, and who you suing? You're suing on a bunch of paper.
Yeah.
So you gotta get the man's attention.
Harry Kim, the man.
Real
Harry
simple,
Kim.
real simple.
Pick me down here.
And you address one letter to Harry Kim, you put, "Hi, my name is Michael Weeks. I believe you are the man acting as mayor for the county of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yes or no?" You send that simple thing, you know, Godspeed, best regards, love you much, thank you for your support. You send them in. He will look, oh, am I the man acting as mayor? He knows he's an actor.
Yeah.
I know I'm an actor and I know I'm governor or mayor. Guess what? He get law school training. He knows he's an actor.
He knows where this is going.
But he serves you, so he will answer the question, yes, I am the man who acts as mayor. Now you got a man to man. Now you can speak and say, you know, the country that you represent have been doing this and this to me and causing harm and burden to my family.
That's right.
And as you are the man acting in this capacity, I believe you have the power to discharge this suit.
Okay, hey,
But you gotta address the man.
Ken, I want your opinion about this. We're talking about putting a lawful lien on Mauna Kea. A lawful lien on Mauna Kea, because people acting in capacity of the state, that real people, men and women,
Right.
have been harming through that capacity our inalienable right to our
So,
Mauna.
I guess you gotta look at the document and get the signature, who is that, and then turn around and sue that man.
Exactly,
name on that?
which is gonna be DLNR, University of Hawaii, Attorney
You
General.
gotta wonder why these people take titles.
Everybody you named is a private entity, or every name you said is private. There's no
Yeah.
man.
No, there's something, we have to clarify
All
there.
men. It's man.
that they are men.
It's the name, but
Actually,
it's.
Shot caller.
So I guess my question
Mauna
is,
Kea is
can
eager,
you help us
a straight eager.
put a lien on these people, these individuals acting in the capacity of the state of Hawaii that are now doing harm to our property?
I wish I could, I don't know how. Maybe you
No,
can
but I
teach me.
mean, gotta be the name on that document, someone says they're gonna take Mauna Kea, they're gonna build this.
Yeah,
That
those
name on that-
are the
that
people.
signature is the document.
Exactly,
So what you do is, you find those people acting, you find the.
in that capacity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you personally write them a letter. You see how many
Okay.
personal letters I wrote? This is, I don't know, maybe, that's a lot of personal letters. And I always let them know that I looking for the man who's responsible.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And
Not the
that's-
corporate fiction.
Well, I don't care about your office.
Yep, okay.
I'm looking for that man who put life into that office.
That's right.
Yeah. And if then you cannot find the man, and somebody else comes up and say, oh, well, I'm his representative. Well, I need a delegation of authority because I can't see you if you're a representative. Who you representing?
Exactly, exactly.
We represent
Who
them.
representing,
Yes.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
the delegation of authority, he's gonna name what man is in command.
So you would have to ask Iggy, who is
If you
in full
look at
charge
the
of the
Supreme
mountain,
Court
right?
Yeah. Right.
rulings on the
Yeah.
contested
I know,
case,
Mr. Egan, my name is
And the
Michael. I
appeal,
need you to be the man working
they
in the
have
capacity of
specified
governor.
Who?
they say.
And keep it simple, one stop.
Yeah.
Let him take
These
part.
people.
Because if you lower
These
down the
people that
information
we're going
request,
to-
well, answer.
Yeah,
need, but it's one question. Are you the man acting as governor?
The state, they name.
Kangaroo court? With no jurisdiction, right?
Unless they have proof.
Right, which they don't want.
They don't want.
So, when you get summoned into their court, you know no more jurisdiction. You gonna open one claim and just say, real simple, I
Oh, yeah.
believe, I-E-V-E,
Yep.
that the man known as John Doe, that acting
So after now.
For state of Hawaii.
They're all gone.
Okay.
state of Hawaii, I believe that John Doe acting for a state of Hawaii
Take all our badges. We
Has-
show badges, yeah.
breached
They will take them all.
Good, yeah. No, they ain't.
They ain't gonna take all of that.
That's what I heard, they take back all kingdom sheriff badges.
Okay, now I require, okay, so this is the preamble, and then compensation.
Has breached his limited authority, is that what you wrote?
Yes.
Okay.
His limited authority, his jurisdiction. Remember, he no more jurisdiction. So whatever limited authority that coming out of his office, he breaching him as a man. Okay? So, how do you stop the kangaroo court without putting money in? All you do is file one claim of yours into their court. The compensation is
Wow.
why? Because they cannot prove the jurisdiction. So, the reason I go
You don't mention the word jurisdiction though.
authority, limited authority.
Are you
You can
saying
use jurisdiction.
you can?
Yeah, remember this is just me writing. You gotta verbalize on how you feel fit.
Okay, how about
Yeah.
this? He's breached his limited authority because he has not proven jurisdiction over me or over the Hawaiian archipelago.
Just
Too
more,
much words, eh?
Well, I'm just wondering, I'm asking.
more clear though.
If you can thin that out, yeah. But basically, you just saying that you believe this man has no authority, and he gotta come to prove. Okay, so what is the compensation? Prove authority or
Prove
jurisdiction.
jurisdiction or drop all charges.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just said drop out charges because they know no more injured party and they know the normal plenary. I leave all that out because I know. And if he gonna challenge, I'm gonna hold him in contempt today.
Okay.
You telling me you trying to make a false claim that you have jurisdiction? Are you practicing law for this defendant, for this wrongdoer? I don't think you're supposed to be. You should let him answer his jurisdiction question. So that's why you gotta always neutralize that judge. Keep him out of the conversation. So basically, all you can do is flip him and say, I believe you don't have jurisdiction. But you cannot say that in their court. Gotta be your paper.
Correct.
Yeah. And
Always
you can file him,
in your lawful
Yeah.
venue, correct.
because if you file him in their court, they're gonna say,
We own you. Yeah. Okay.
Privilege.
frivolous. So that's a basic way to challenge jurisdiction. We just say jurisdiction can be challenged at any time, not in their court. You challenge their jurisdiction with yours, which is
That's
stupid.
powerful.
But you haven't.
For two.
Like,
Very nice.
we've been trying to claim our Hawaiian national status as defendants, but you cannot claim
Anything.
in their stuff. You can only make a claim.
As a real man.
You cannot make a claim defending yourself. You're a defendant. So to claim a Hawaiian national status,
Right,
Yeah,